optimize.
Thank you for reminding me of that. Welcome, everybody. I'm Love Coach Scott Katamas, along with wonderful Deisree and an amazing group of presenters and musicians celebrating World Unity Week and Juneteenth. Yep, it's Saturday Night Alive for the Global Peace Tribe. That's you. I want to welcome all of our friends that are watching on Facebook, over 150 groups and pages on Facebook, all of our YouTube channels, and I want to welcome you. Come on in to our Zoom room. You know, it's really wonderful to be in the Zoom room because it's easier for you to chat with all of our amazing presenters and musicians. It's easier for us to track what you have to say, and we really do want to hear what you have to say. So just go to www.globalpeacetribe.com, globalpeacetribe.com, and join us. It's going to be a very, very special show. I'm really proud of all the people that have come together to create World Unity Week. You're going to meet Ben Bowler, who's our co-host, who's going to share with you, along with John and Summer and Deborah and myself, all that's going on this very important week, a week that we're all coming together to celebrate Juneteenth and to come together in unity. So to tell you more about it, and she's really done a lot to put together this amazing show, here's my partner, Deborah.
Welcome, everyone, to what is now our 66th show that we produced on Saturday Night Alive since the lockdown in April 2020 during these highly challenging but very evolutionary times. And this is the second show that we are producing for season 5. We'll have one more show in April to June, and then we are launching tonight season 6, An Incredible Mix, Making Contact, Building Connection, and Raising Consciousness. And we'll tell you more about that a little bit later. And again, thank you so much for all your donations when you register and your donations into our GoFundMe. As you know, we offer this show for free by donation, so your donations are really valuable to us to have us continue to produce a show for you every single Saturday night. And as Scott said, this is going to be another amazing show. Our theme is the Solstice Portal, celebrating global unity and honoring Juneteenth and World Unity Week. What a dynamic show. We activate the very powerful solstice portal happening now, as well as honoring Juneteenth and World Unity Week. During this last year, the whole world has gone through extreme challenges, but also major awakenings. And due to the collective experience of COVID, all of humanity has experienced that we are deeply interconnected. And what affects some of us ultimately touches all of us. So we're reminded over and over again that we must relate to each other and treat each other, our human family, with respect, kindness, and love. And we also listened more deeply than ever before to the voices of our human family, the disadvantaged, and especially the disenfranchised. And a lot of what has been hidden and shoved under the rug has now come up. So the dysfunctional parts of our family have come up to be revealed and healed. And this is a time to honor the collective cry, to honor, love, and respect all of our brothers and sisters. So it's perfect that we've come together tonight, honoring Juneteenth and the Solstice Portal and World Unity Week. World Unity Week is started today. It's a 7-day conference that collects over 200 global organizations coming together, sharing their information, solutions, and connections that foster creating a world that works for all. And Juneteenth commemorates the emancipation of enslaved people, but ultimately honors all people of levels of enslavement. So we are going to have an amazing night tonight, and I want to share with you the presenters that we have for you tonight. We have with us Mack, who is a very well-known spiritual teacher, highly attuned empathic healer, and he serves the awakening and evolution of all sentient beings. He's the author of several best-selling books, including Whatever Rises, Love That. Welcome, Matt. And we have leading a very powerful meditation for us tonight on World Unity, Christopher Macklin. He's a powerful channel, medium, and healer from England who utilizes divine healing techniques through divine knowledge from God and spirit to help people recover from all types of illnesses. Welcome, Christopher. And we have Chief Dwayne Perry. He's elected chief of the Rapapo Lunapi Nation, which is about 3,500 members in New York and New Jersey. He's also a Vietnam War veteran and environmental and human rights activist. Welcome, Dwayne. And we're happy to have Sadhvi Bhagavati Saraswati. She's a renowned spiritual leader in India. She's also the president of Divine Shakti Foundation, which is a charitable organization bringing education and empowerment to women and children. And she just released her new book, Hollywood to the Himalayas. Great to have you, Sadhvi. And we're so happy to have Marty Casey. She is the founder and president of Show Me Arts Foundation, the first arts organization formed immediately after the unrest of Ferguson in Missouri. And she's tirelessly served over 2,500 children at no cost to their families, providing classes centered around the arts. And we're so happy to have Adil Kassam, who's a founder and principal of Unify, who's one of our more prominent broadcast partners. This organization serves the world in support of international online events that serves to raise consciousness and unify the world. Welcome, Adil. And we have the founders of the World Unity Week that's happening, the organization. We have John and Summer Raymer. They have produced the Compassion Games International. They are the founders of Sign Network and are producing now World Unity Week, which we're going to share a lot about during this broadcast. Welcome. We also have Ben Bowler, who is our co-host tonight. He's the executive director of Unity Earth, which is a global network building a worldwide movement of unity and peace, and is also the co-producer of World Unity Week. And we've got incredible musicians as always. We are going to be featuring Gary Malkin. He is a multiple Emmy award-winning composer, public speaker, performer, and innovator who produces strategies for health, wellness, and a more compassionate world. We are also going to be having Nina Gray, who is one of our favorite performers. She's a California-born raised singer-songwriter, and her music is always a force for spreading good in the world. We also have Pato Bantan, who is a well-known musician for over 40 years, and his music is designed to transform and convey positive and uplifting messages of global peace and humanity. And his partner, Antoinette Rutstawa, a renowned keyboard reggae industry artist. She's the partner of Pato Bantan, and we are sponsoring her community service organization, Stand Up for Justice. And also together, they make a powerful team that performs music all around the world and works for social and racial justice. And tonight, that is our GoFundMe. As you know, since the beginning, we use this platform to raise money for extremely valuable and worthy causes. because our green love from everyone out there, whether it's $5 or $500, can make a big difference in these organizations' ability to serve the world. So tonight, we are going to be serving Antoinette's organization, Stand Up for Justice. This is a movement to create an anti-racist culture and dismantle the systematic racism, provide diversity inclusion, and provide progressive educational and social programs while advocating human and civil rights. I'm going to post their link in the chat room all during this show. So please, as your heart calls, ping them some green love. And we're going to talk more about that later. And right now, I want to invite our co-host, Ben Ballard, to come on and speak a little about World Unity Week and this incredible evening and day and what is going to be happening tonight. So Ben, I'd love for you to say a few words and say hi to our viewers.
Wow, wonderful, Deborah. Thank you so much. It's great to be here with you and Scott and everybody here on Saturday Night Alive for the Global Peace Tribe. And what an amazing lineup. I mean, just going through everybody you just introduced there, my goodness, what an incredible array of global leaders from so many different fields and extraordinary people that have devoted their life to this movement that is this collective rising on the planet right now. It's a real honor to be here. It is the beginning of World Unity Week. We have hundreds of organizations that have come together across these next 8 days, including solstice celebrations. You're going to meet Chief Dwayne Perry in a few moments. Obviously today being June 19th, and we're acknowledging and honoring that. Dr. Marty K. Casey is going to speak to that. And the whole week of events, which is really a continuation of this spirit, Deborah, that we have here tonight, that we're celebrating on the first day here, bringing all these different groups together. What I will say just quickly as we start tonight is that World Unity Week wasn't convened by the United Nations or any institution or a country, nation states, or any corporation. It really is we, the people, that have come together and declared and are manifesting World Unity Week. And that's the spirit of this rising wind that we're feeling and we're catching together. And this rising wind is coming together and saying, what can we do in a connected whole when we all come together with all of our passion areas and all of our genius and all of our commitments and resources? What can we do? And we're answering that question. And it is mind-blowing and heart-opening to see and to witness exactly, reclaiming our agency and our power here on the planet. And so excited to be here with you tonight in Saturday Night Alive. Thank you, Deborah. And Scott, for the trust and the partnership. You guys are major conveners of World Unity Week, and it's a great joy and an honor to be in the field with you here tonight.
Great. Thank you, Ben. It's really fun having you as our co-host. I want to acknowledge a few other people that are a really big part of making this show happen. And I want to introduce our sponsor for tonight's show. This is Tom Palladino, and you've seen him before. This is the third show that he's sponsored. And of course, he is the creator of Scalar Lightwave, which is an amazing opportunity for us to experience quantum healing. So Tom, great to have you with us again. Thank you so much for being with us. And I also want to acknowledge our executive producer, Jay Mayer. Jay makes many, many wonderful things happen, including a lot of the videos that you see. And he's put together, along with his partner, Jan, some wonderful videos that we're going to see tonight, including Wisdom Jewels. And there's Jan. She's our senior producer. So Jay, Jan, thank you so much for all that you provide to our Saturday Night Alive audience. Well, you're going to be hearing the words World Unity Week a lot. And it's my honor to share this beautiful trailer. And what I love, I've watched it several times, and it's an opportunity for us to drop in. You know, we always start our show with music. And this time, instead of a live musician, in fact, I think it's the first time we're ever starting with a video instead of a live musician. But it's so beautiful and so tranquil. And let's just really slow down, drop in, and really get a sense of what World Unity Week is all about.
You are invited to experience unity. time to put aside the differences that divide us. And embrace the beauty of each one of us being different, being unique, being ourselves. In the essence of who we truly are. A beautiful array of human beings across the planet. So many different ways of being human. So let us get to know each other. Let's spend time with each other. Let's learn from each other. And let's open our hearts to each other. And let's find the unity that exists right in the middle of the richness of our diversity. We are human. We are unique. We are one.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And to introduce our keynote speaker, here's Deborah.
Thank you, Scott. Yes, beautiful way to start this program, and it's going to continue to escalate in love and heart and wisdom from here. And this is a great way to start. We have one of our favorite presenters, Mack, with us tonight. He's the author of best-selling books, Whatever Rises, Love That Everything Is Here. You know him on YouTube. He's been a spiritual teacher and a way shower for so long for us, and he's still on the cutting edge of the transformation of the awakening on the planet now to give us those drops of wisdom that are always so perfect for what we need to hear right here and now. So, Matt, thank you so much for coming on at this really important show of global unity and all the work you do in the world. And thank you for the wisdom you're about to share with us now. Blessing.
Oh, thank you so much. It's truly an honor to be here for really quite a sacred day. And as we begin this wonderful celebration, as we drop into this beautiful energy that allows us to all feel more connected than ever before, and of course, to step forward into service for our fellow human beings, for the new world we are creating together. I want to start with a question of inquiry. And it's not a question that has an answer, but it's a question that causes us to pause and just think from a deeper space. And that question of inquiry is it the differences that divide us? Or is it the lack of acknowledgement for those differences that keep us separate? And that what I think is most interesting as we bridge the gap between the solstice and Juneteenth, as we do the inner work and hopefully bring ourselves back out into the world to be advocates for healing and awakening and liberating the innocence of all. What's most interesting about unity being an awakening of consciousness I had from a very early age and throughout my entire life, and what I work so tirelessly to help awaken in all sentient beings, is that when we think of liberation, we often think of liberation as being liberated from what? But the plight of self-preservation. The notion that we go from surviving and struggling to thriving. And what's really interesting, and what I think is something interesting to speak about so that we can bridge the gap and really allow this celebration to be a grand participation for all of us in all spiritual communities and throughout the world, is that we go on a spiritual path seeking wisdom, expansion, the realization and remembrance of unity consciousness, hoping to overcome this plight called self-preservation. And there's something that happens often. I may like to talk about it like a dirty little secret on the spiritual path. So let's talk about it. What's the dirty little secret? The dirty little secret is that oftentimes we enter a spiritual path to overcome the plight of self-preservation, and we wind up just developing a deeper or a different kind of spiritual self-preservation, where instead of being afraid of losing our finances or our position in a company or our loved ones, we now are afraid of losing our standing in the universe, our communication with our spirit guides. We oftentimes don't want to look at what is incomprehensible and unthinkable that happens in this world, that we are living on a planet whereas we can be in peace and be one with the present moment. There are also interconnected beings, one with us, who are having very different experiences. And the spiritual self-preservation often is when we don't want to look outside of ourselves and to reach out to another human being in a way that might disturb our vibration or any new level of spiritual comfort that we have developed on the spiritual path. And yet the true essence of unity is that we come to feel so interconnected with every human being that we are not looking at another. We are looking at sister, brother, mother, and father. We are looking at reflection of self, and we are reaching out in service to every human being as if we are reaching out to another part of ourselves. And so what I really think is important to touch upon is that it is the selfless service. It is the community aspect of unity that really allows us to not only wake up out of the plight of self-preservation, but to really break the spell of spiritual self-preservation, where we're not afraid to be uncomfortable. We're not afraid to step outside of ourselves. We're not afraid to fail, to fall on our faces. We're not afraid to get our hands dirty and get into the dirt and to get exactly where other human beings are who need the help that all of us were born to provide. And so may what I am offering right now, if there is any part of us that gets too locked in and occupied in spiritual self-preservation, where we're too lost in, well, what am I manifesting for myself? Where is my vibration? Am I really on course with ascension? And the reality is, any human being is as separate from the divine as what prevents them from reaching out to another human being in need. And bless the soul of any human being who endures far greater hardship than any of us have ever known, just to inspire us to step forward, to reach out, and to discover how infinite our power truly is. An infinite power that we cannot discover until we start exhausting and exercising it by helping other beings. And so in the true path of unity, we have time to go within, to be with our feelings, to love and to nurture ourselves, to be for ourselves what no one has ever been before, to give ourselves all the emotional sustenance, all the room to process our past. And then we come back out of that inner sanctum, and we live a life of service where any human being that comes into our presence is someone we are here to affirm, to accept, to bless, and to help in whatever way we can serve them. And so let's just take a moment and feel that. Feel how the invitation of recognizing the plight of other people's pain and suffering actually can break the spell of self-preservation. That we stop thinking about our struggles and our strife when we see others who are suffering far greater. And to know that as a mechanism of helping to cultivate the greatest power within you can be done by your ability to serve anyone that comes into contact with you as an extension of yourself, as a member of your cosmic family. Instead of the conversation of, is this person lowering my vibration? Do I agree with them? Do I disagree with them? We are living on a planet that is going through an ascension. This is all very good news. And at the same time, we can be rooted in unity consciousness, one with the light of infinite love, and still seeing that people are hurting far too deeply to be in such a self-preserving capacity. The only way we're going to overcome fear and fully step into love is to break the spell of being afraid to reach outside of yourself with loving kindness towards another human being. And the only way to overcome that fear is to try. And sometimes it will go well, and sometimes you will fail epically. And that's the beauty of life. And this, beautiful solstice and Juneteenth day reminds me of one of my greatest heroes on the planet, a man that inspires me every single day. And his name is Dr. Martin Luther King. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., actually. And this man obviously spoke in churches over his lifetime. And just as I wrap this up, I want to give you an analogy that wraps everything together, because it's something that came to me in the middle of the night last night when I asked for a direction for this talk. Because I think of our bodies as a church, a house of worship. And so what came to me last night was a quote that Spirit said to me. It said, "A church too delicately preserved is a house of worship rarely used." And let us not be in a space of self-preservation to have churches and houses of worship that are barely used. Let these bodies and minds and energy fields be exhausted, like a church whose walls are flimsy from the reverberating echo of choirs praising the name of God at full capacity and full volume. Let us use our house of worship. Let us use the church of our physical body to give to others. And when we think we have nothing left for ourselves, we take time to nourish ourselves and back into action. For the name of oneness and the greater good of all, we go. And so I say to you again, a church too delicately preserved is a house of worship rarely used. And we are done being these delicately preserved houses of worship, trying to make sure nothing affects our vibration. We are spiritual warriors. We are evolving avatars of light. And now is the time that we step forward and we overcome fear and our ego's self-preservation by being more concerned with the other people, the extensions of ourselves we are serving. And God bless those who suffer far worse than us to bring us out of ourselves and into our power. That is the love revolution. That is real unity consciousness, and this planet is ready for it. It is what I stand for. It is what I invite out of all of us, and it is what I ask us to celebrate. Practical, real world, spiritual embodiment. Love in action. I love you.
Matt, that's so beautiful. And while we're still ruminating,
Thank you.
Matt Kahn soup.
Matt consomme. Is that a consomme? What's that?
I'd like to invite all of our people in the Zoom room and those watching on Facebook to write into the chat box how you feel inspired to be of service, how you feel inspired to use your body temple, your church. Because as Matt's saying, it is all about really taking action, being of service. And so I want to invite everybody to put into the chat box a way that you're going to be of service, whether it's to another individual, to a community, to an organization. And I think that'll all inspire us. And Matt, that's a beautiful, beautiful message. My mentor was Marshall Rosenberg, and he said, my favorite quote was, "The greatest joy in life is to contribute to the well-being of another." And when we've learned that joy, we're blessed. We're blessed. And speaking of blessings, because I'm not going to let you go quite yet, to learn, because Matt has so much to share with us. I just want to remind people to go to his website. It's his name.org. So it's MATTKAHN.org. And Matt, is there anything on your website that you want to especially let us know about? Anything you're especially excited about, a new book or a course?
Well, I have a new book coming out next year. It's currently being edited. I'm very excited about that. I think, if anyone that goes to my website, you sign up for our free newsletter and you get a free energetic activation, which is amazing. And we have an events tab of events of, both virtual and coming up in person. And I'm excited to get back on stage and to be with everyone in person again. And even being here virtually with everyone right now, my heart is so filled with love. And I just want to thank you and all the presenters and everyone. Thank you for inviting me to be a part of this. And I'm truly honored to share space with all of you. Love to all.
Thank you very much, Matt. Thanks for being with us. All right, and I'm going to turn it over to our co-host, Ben, to introduce our next speaker.
All right, wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Scott. And Matt, that was beautiful and profound. Thank you for sharing those reflections. It's a great honor to introduce this next man. He is a leader, an elder in the global community. Chief Dwayne Perry is chief of the Ramapo Lenape Nation in the eastern gate of Turtle Island. And we've had the pleasure of knowing Chief Dwayne Perry for some years, since we worked together for the Unity Earth Liftoff in New York. And we got to, one of the greatest things about that journey was the pilgrimage to Split Rock, to go up and to visit with Chief Perry and his community in the prayer at that sacred site, and down to the prayer grounds, which were under threat at that time. And since then, there's been a legal victory. So Chief Dwayne Perry is convening these solstice events tomorrow morning, including a dawn service and a historic signing treaty with the Mohawk, between the Ramapo and the Mohawk. And then not only that, but later in the day, opening an Indigenous museum, the Ramapo Munsi Museum, which will be opening tomorrow. It's a big day. So we're very, very grateful for you, Chief Dwayne Perry, being up late at night. You are a great inspiration to all of us. You are a leader, and you are a wonderful example of the servant love that Matt was just talking about. It's a tremendous honor to have you with us on Saturday Night Alive.
Thank you, Ben. I'd like to also thank Matt. As he said, the greatest love sometimes comes out of diversity. So forgive me why I begin with a little diversity. I'd like everyone to know I am absolutely astonished by everyone's gifts of love and understanding. Giki ai bemi boku makwa netelamapo wawashishio dui de miwa. Chief Perry of the Ramapo Lenape, the Muncie people who live in the New York, New Jersey area. We are the Ramapo, the Sweetwater clan of the Lenape. The Muncie people are one of the very few tribes in the United States who still reside alive and in place in our original homeland here in New York and New Jersey. The American Revolution would not have been possible without the help of the Ramapo people as it applied to the New England colonies. We had allowed the then rebels led by George Washington to use our redoubt, the Ramapo Pass, which eliminated any strategic importance or advantaged by the British, as the only way to reinforce their own troops in New England was either off the Atlantic or march down through Canada or around the Pennsylvania mountains. So the Ramapo Pass was a key part to the victory of the Patriots in the early parts of the American Revolution for the New England colonies. Anyway, the first 900 cannonballs fired in the American and in the Civil Revolutionary War were made from Ramapo Lenape iron deposits. The chain across the Hudson was made from Ramapo Lenape iron deposits. The Capitol Dome and indeed the Lady of Freedom atop the Capitol Dome were made from Ramapo Lenape iron deposits. Our thanks for ensuring the early success of the American Revolution in its very early days was to be made the very first people enslaved in North America. So we appreciate June 19th very much. And to have the very same iron mines from which the cannonballs and the chain across the Hudson, the Capitol Dome, and the Lady of Freedom were produced. Those very mines, unlike the mines in other countries that were held in awe as sort of a national asset, in our country, we filled them up with deadly toxins, and they're still killing people at this moment. So today, the Ramapo have still suffer from the rancor and greed and perhaps the collective obliviousness of those who have been extremely needy, those who see no wrong in driving the indigenous from their ancestral land so they can continue to live in a convoluted delirium of self-imposed stature. However, today, as the blessing of survival has groomed the Ramapo in Legress, we offer peace and love and a warm welcome to all of our relatives upon this Turtle Island and to all of our planetary elders from which we are seeds. The Sweetwater clan, better known as the Ramapo, asks that each and every one of you may be blessed with the understanding we are one. We are all children of the earth. We are all of the planetary elders. Let us now move forward in a good way. Let us now remember the ways of those who had come before. The Ramapo invite each and every one of you to our solstice ceremony being held at the portal on June 10th at the Tahiti Way. It's to be noted that the Tahiti Way has just recently been returned. It's a portal on top of our mountain. It has just recently been returned to the Ramapo people. Not just the portal part, but the entire mountain, little small mountain here in New York. So in addition to that, I think it's extremely important because one of the things that I found astonishing about the portal, and it's connected to many, many other portals in the world, including the Black Hills and San Francisco Peak, is the very first thing that these so-called settlers or pioneers did when they got here. They closed the portal. Our relatives were far beyond the thoughts of making a country. They made a great country. I think what I'm saying, spiritually, their first act was to take the spirituality from the center of the people and close it and crush it. And I'm overjoyed and just feeling blessed to be able to share with all of you that is now going to be reopened. And we're going to share certainly the solstice ceremony. And we're looking forward into spring to bringing back a number of people that understand what portals are. Unlike me, portals to me is closer to Harry Potter. We're talking love and power and understanding, and we want to invite everyone here in the entire world to join us. So it's just a wonderful thing. And this is our initial ceremony is going to be held tomorrow at the Tahiti Way, on the Tahiti Way. So in addition, we are going to be opening up our the museum at our embassy, the first embassy, and the embassy will be through the, I'm just losing myself here. The embassy whose mission is to give voice to those who have been held silent through the acknowledgement that we are all indigenous and we may now come together with the greater spiritual realization and the understanding of our original selves. to raise our voice, to lift all truths, to hear where peace may give super. The embassy will cross-reference global needs to search out the meaningful solutions that have eluded the diplomatic fonts by applying the practical applications necessary to bring resolution to those without a voice. And the essence of the first embassy is to go beyond diplomacy to the celebrity of truth, celebration of truth. A truth which starts with the understanding we are all indigenous, we are all children of the earth. A truth which has come before a knowledge of place, a truth that has come before an understanding of one's religious path. We are of the waters that carried the first two-legged as it runs through each woman today, the same water which carries us, which carried the first indigenous. This truth is manifested in each life. Today, let each and every challenge become a unifying embrace of kindness in which peace will prevail. It is asked, how amongst these powerful sites and the pollinization of thought, how will the first embassy accomplish their mandate? It's quite simple. We will coalesce in the deeper understanding of the planetary elders and provide as it was given to us in need. If it's a legal question, it will simply be handled by the gift of those of us which will nullify that challenge. If it's a diversion of syntax and demagoguery that damages, it will be those of us such as Unity Earth and Saturday Night Live, which will reset the good of the global truth. The first embassy will not deal in the subliminal beliefs of untouchable causes, but in the renewal of life through the honoring of truth and the radiance it will bring to the halls of power. We, the first embassy, invite everyone to celebrate our opening this Sunday, starting with the solstice ceremony at sunrise, followed at 10 o'clock with a very historic renewal of alliances with the Mohawk Nation, one that we separated for in the beginning of the revolution to support those seeking freedom. So it's been nearly 270 something years that we've been separated. We are going to join tomorrow at 10 a.m. and rejoin our alliance and our brotherhood and our understanding of a greater spirit. Then at 1 o'clock, again, we're going to come back together, museum in Stony Point, and celebrate and begin by celebrating the life of the Ramapo people seen through the lens of the photographs of Becky Yee and produced in our founding sponsor, Linda Bjork. I might want to say that the embassy, the museum is going to be highlighting globally marginalized tribal people globally. That could be the Maasai in the Congo that most people don't know. They have been driven into isolation and starvation in the Congo. The Maasai everybody loves to see. Beautiful tall brothers with the beadwork. They're losing the talent to do beadwork. You know, the Hawaiians, there's tribal people in Hawaii that have absolutely lost their land. They're living on the beach. It's their country. There's people in Japan. There's people in the Himalayas. There's people globally. And what the embassy is going to do and intends to do through art is to illustrate their existence, their needs, and their viability. So please join us where you may and let each of us reach far beyond our own acquiescence of self and far beyond our chosen paths of religion to embrace each other in the true spirit with the given knowledge we are all much more. We are far much more than it's been given. For surely as I send each and every one of you blessings, we are all indigenous and we are all rising. So let me just thank you, Anishi.
Thank you so much. And again, I'm posting, like people have asked about the flyer, and so I'm posting that flyer. And tomorrow's going to be very, very special. And Ben, I've put the spotlight on you along with Dwayne. You should tell people how they can watch.
Yeah, amazing. To see what Chief Dwayne Perry is doing tomorrow. These three key events: the dawn solstice ceremony out on the sacred lands of the Ramapo, the signing of the treaty with the Mohawks, and the opening of the museum, all on one day. And he still has time to be on Saturday Night Alive the night before. Deep bows to you. You can be live in and be witness to this through the World Unity Week Room 1 Zoom, which I put in the link to the attendees. You can also just watch it on worldunityweek.org. It's all free. The whole, all of the events, there's no charge in any of this. It's all free. And it's going to be an opportunity to witness history, participate in this incredible solstice blessing from 5:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time in the morning. And then I think the broadcast will be 10:30 a.m. After the gathering at 10 o'clock. But you can come, it'll be in the Zoom room, which is listed in the chat there, and you'll be able to witness through our people on the ground who are going to be carrying us there, Linda Bjork and others. You'll be able to witness this historic day unfolding, the 20th of June. And what an opportunity, what a privilege for us to be able to participate and witness it tomorrow.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Dwayne. Thank you, Ben. And I know I'm still looking forward to watching that. It's going
I'd
to be
just
really
like to add one thing, that the miracle of the technology that I'm sort of brain dead about is exactly the technology that, as you guys know, is freeing the world with truth. Blessings.
good. Thank you. Thank you. What a beautiful testament to really combining, we so need the wisdom of the indigenous people on this land. And I always wonder what our world would have been like if, instead of slaughtering the people who are already living here, we had collaborated with them, if we had combined our, what Western technology, the best of Western technology, with indigenous wisdom. What a wonderful world that would be. And now is the time for us to create that world. So thank you very much. Thank you. An example of creating the new world is the next person we're going to hear from. This is Tom Palladino. And some of you know Tom, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about him for those of you who hadn't met him previously. He is a researcher and very much a humanitarian. He is dedicated to making a difference in the world by providing people with the education and the tools to restore optimal health, and therefore really enhancing our quality of life. Tom began research with scalar energy during his undergraduate years after developing a deep admiration for the father of it all, Nikola Tesla. He was able to study the work of a man, Hieronymus, who continued research on scalar energy. And those major contributions included unbinding the RNA and DNA bonds of microbes plaguing the agricultural industry, basically rendering them harmless. The existence of this energy is fascinated Tom. And so he continued to pursue a course of independent study to better understand and subsequently harness this energy through the development of an instrument called scalar light. And so we're going to learn a little bit about scalar light. He has been doing this for quite a while, and he has devoted his life to this. And a lot of the people, including myself, have worked with Tom. We've had positive outcomes. So Tom, thank you so much for being with us. And thank you for bringing this amazing modality to us. Thank you so much.
Deborah, Scott, thank you. And all of you tonight for participating. Thank you. This is a team effort. It's a pleasure. It's an honor to be here. Good evening, everybody.
So I'm going to pull up a couple of things. This is the equipment. And now here's what we're going to ask everyone to do. Send your photo to Tom. And he's offering a free trial for everybody. You send the photo, he runs the photo through his machine, and extraordinary things happen. And it's all about results. And these are just some of the test results that he sent me that I've looked over that shows all the people that have received value, whether it's this particular one was somebody suffering from the herpes virus. Here's somebody suffering from HIV viral infection. And all you need to do is send your photographs to Tom, and he will provide you with a free experience here, which is really, really incredibly generous. Of course, Deborah is putting into the chat box the link but I'll also show it to people so you can see it directly. You're going to want to go to scalarlight.com. And if you use the link that Deb was using, that directly connects it to Saturday Night Alive, which is great. Just give your name, your email, your phone, let the world know you're not a robot, and send a photograph of yourself. And also you can actually, they can send photos of family members as well. Is that correct, Tom?
That's correct. That's right.
And anything you want to add about how you do this, or anything you'd like for people to know or to understand?
Sure. I think it's apropos. This is World Unity Week, and this is what I envision. I am working with what we call life force energy, or what the scientific world calls scalar energy. That's Om, that's Chi or Prana. So we're working with this life force energy, and this energy is going to unite mankind. That's what this is all about, bringing mankind together. I'm a humanitarian. That's what I'm trying to do with this technology, is to stop the fighting, is to unite mankind. And I think one of the common denominators would be this type of global healing ministry. Now, as Scott mentioned, I work with people remotely by way of a photograph. What do I mean? You email us a photograph, and I actually take your photograph and I place it inside the instrument. So this is what is known as quantum healing, or some people might call this the healing of the Akashic record, or quantum entanglement. And this is a process that I've developed with these scientific instruments. And we are offering everybody in attendance tonight 30 days of free sessions. Sign up, send in your photograph, and we will work with you for those 30 days, and we will explain the process to you. And I think that the key point that I'm trying to inculcate is this type of technology used for the betterment of mankind, we will unite the world. And this, again, is the underlying theme of our talk tonight. It's World Unity Week. That's what I envision, bringing the world together. No more fighting. Let's get our differences out of the way. Let us unite.
Beautiful. Tom, thank you so much. We so appreciate you. And, you know, I think another thing that connects is, as Matt said, let's use our body temples. Let's use our bodies. Let's go forth, be of service. Well, we can be of much greater service when we're in great health. And that's why on Saturday Night Live, we want to always bring you the latest in quantum healing, the latest ways that all of us can have the best health possible. All right, it is now my pleasure to introduce tonight's Wisdom Jewels. And again, I really want to thank Jay and Jan. They're the ones who create these Wisdom Jewels, and they're really, really fun. I'm going to just pop the video on Jay, and I'm going to pull Jan. There's Jan. So thank you, Jay, Jan. Tonight's Wisdom Jewels, you really rocked it. I love the choices you made. Let's all take a look. Beautiful job. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Jan. So it's Juneteenth. And originally Antoinette, who's one of our dearest friends, she and Pato were going to be with us live, but they had an opportunity that came up at the last minute for them to do a special performance. So they flew off to do that. Antoinette did pre-record a wonderful video, which I'm going to play later on in the evening. And she's going to be my guest tomorrow morning on the Secret Sunday show. But I'm going to tell the story of why we are funding and asking you to fund her organization. And it's a brand new one. She just literally sent me the GoFundMe today. But here's the story. Antoinette works very closely with police departments, helping them to raise their consciousness. She had a very dear friend who had a son who was autistic. And the son was with her friend. They were at Costco. And the son got upset about something. And being autistic, he began to put on a scene. An undercover cop came over, tried to stop him. The son, who's a big fellow, shoved the police officer. The police officer pulled out a gun, shot and killed him. Can you imagine the horror of this mother watching her son murdered in such a way? Now, the undercover cop didn't understand that he was dealing with someone autistic. He got scared. We're not condoning what happened. But what's beautiful is Antoinette realized there needs to be education. How many times have we seen, especially Black children, Black teenagers, shot down by police officers that don't understand their mental situation, don't understand that they don't have the same capacity? How many times they're reaching for their cell phone and the cop thinks it's a gun? How many times we've seen the story of someone who's having an emotional outburst and that gets interpreted as violence and then they're shot and killed. It's happened way too many times. So Antoinette has started something called, it's part of her Stand Up for Justice campaign, but it's actually very specifically the Jane campaign. Jane is the name of the mother whose son died in such tragic fashion. Literally, she just set up the GoFundMe today, sent it to me this morning. You'll see we've got our first 3 people who have contributed. And I really want to ask everyone, please, even if it's only $5, $10, whatever you donate, it helps. This is an important campaign. And here at Saturday Night Live, we're really proud. We've raised well over $75,000. And if you include some of the money that I was raising over the past 2 years since the pandemic, we've raised about $150,000 for the various causes that we work with. So your donations really matter. They make a difference. So please go to the GoFundMe. Deborah is putting into the chat box. And please be generous in your donations. And as most of you know, one of my favorite things to do on Saturday Night Live is to read the names of the people who have donated. Now, I know many of you end up donating anonymously, and that's beautiful. But for those of you who feel so inspired to put your name in, that's also great. And I am going to play right now a really fun music video. This was recorded by Pato a while back, several months ago, but it is connected to their overall Stand Up for Justice program and campaign. And in Pato Banton classic way, it's upbeat, it's dynamic, but listen to the words because the words are very important. And while you're watching this video, please be generous with your donations. Here we go. Here's Pato and Antoinette.
Stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up strong. Stand up strong. And stand up now. And stand up now. Stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up strong. Stand up strong. And stand up now. And stand up now. I'm tired of the ALM against the BLM. Tired of the attitude of us against them. Tired of the tensions between black and white. Tired of debating when we know wrong from right. Pro-vax, anti-vax, pro-choice, pro-life, pro-mask, anti-mask. There's so much strife. Democrat, Republican, atheist and Christian. The darkness against your light. I'm tired of the fallacy of white supremacy. Tired of the sickening police brutality. I hear the people crying out for more accountability. Lord, enough is enough now. Stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up strong. Stand up strong. And stand up now. And stand up now. Stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up strong. Stand up strong. And stand up now. And stand up now. Hey yo, what do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. Black lives matter. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No racist police. All lives matter when black lives matter. Yes, all lives matter when black lives matter.
Elijah was walking to the store one night to get something for his younger brother. He had his ski mask on, probably was so hopeful for the next day.
Stop, I have a right to stop you because you're being suspicious. Relax, just relax. Relax.
They dosed the 140-pound Elijah with ketamine, a powerful sedative. Elijah had a heart attack. He was rushed to the hospital and put on life support. Eventually, doctors declared him brain dead. 3 days later, he was taken off life support.
Let me tell them the truth now. Too many killed by the police yearly. Thank God forbid your fault so we can see clearly. Black people get it worse, yes, most severely. We pray for the day we can be treated fairly. When crooked cops turn off their body camera, killing innocent people all across America, playing judge, jury, and executioner. They live above the law and get away with murder. We need justice against police brutality. It's time for the people to police the police. We need justice in our judicial system. Modern day slavery in our private prisons. We need justice for those on death row who are innocent. We need to save them now. We need justice for those on death row who are innocent. We need to save them now. We need justice against the Ku Klux Klan. It's time to stop domestic terrorism. We need justice for all the children caged up in our immigration system. We need justice for all the boys and girls who are being sex trafficked all over the world. We need justice for every family who suffer in the system of inequality. We need justice, yes, for each and every one. Together we are strong, come on, and stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up strong. Stand up strong. And stand up now. And stand up now. Stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up strong. Stand up strong. And stand up now. And stand up now. Stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up strong. Stand up strong. And stand up now. And stand up now. Stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up for justice. Stand up strong. Stand up strong. And stand up now. So very powerful video and heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking. But we can stand up, and
the ways that Matt talked about, how can we be of service? And please, let's be of service right now with your green energy. Thank you so much. I'm so proud of our Global Peace Tribe. The money that we've raised, the money we're raising tonight, the people that we support, each and every one of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, and it's now my honor to turn it back over to Deborah to introduce our next guest.
Thank you, and thank you so much for your donations. I see people posting in the chat room that they've donated, and that's really powerful. As a force, we can use our green love to make these changes now. And not only do we make our activist choices in the physical, another way we can work is on the deep spiritual. And we know that through meditation and prayer and divine healing, much can happen in terms of this transformation that we're looking for now. So I'm so happy to introduce Christopher Macklin. He's a powerful channeling medium and healer from England who utilizes divine healing techniques cultivated through divine knowledge from God and the spirit world to help recover from all types of illness. And he's been able to heal people simultaneously with the help of God's angelic light beings. And he works to rebalance body's light healing energy by clearing the chakra points. And what he's going to do for us tonight is lead a meditation. And this is one of the most powerful things we can do on this broadcast tonight, is all unite in our hearts and our soul towards this powerful goal of world unity that we're all wanting to create. So I'm happy to turn this over to Christopher and allow him to lead us and to drop into our hearts and soul on a beautiful meditation. Thank you.
Thanks, Deborah.
Welcome.
Bless your heart. I just want to thank you and Scott and Ben, and I want to thank Chief Dwayne as well. What a beautiful thing. I've worked a lot with the Native Americans here, and there's a lot of troubled areas, and it's just beautiful. So thank you so much. And thank Matt as well. Beautiful message. So anyway, I've only got 8 minutes. So what I'm going to do is speak for 3 minutes, and then we're going to do a healing, if that's okay. So I just want to thank you all for allowing me to be part of this celebration of global unity. It's absolutely beautiful. It's really heartfelt. And the message about autism, I adopted an autistic girl, my wife's daughter, 2.5 years ago. And she's pretty violent. We got her stabilized and she's now doing amazing. And my wife, Amanda, actually worked with the police department to get them to understand what autism is. So that's a beautiful thing as well. So you guys are just like incredible. What can I say? Beautiful. So what I'd like to also say is about there's a lot of separation going on. And one of my jobs, we work on about 120,000 healing sessions a week, believe it or not. You know, have a look on the YouTube, have a look on Facebook. We do a lot of work behind the scenes. And part of it is to actually bring people back to their sovereign self. Like Matt said, you know, it's about honoring themselves, about getting back to sovereign selves. You don't need gurus, you just need people to help you as a facilitator to get back to sovereign self. And that's so important because the vessel, the church, whatever you want to call it, is within. And I remember getting that message a long time ago when I opened the office and build it, they'll come. Oh, they didn't. Why is that? And I got this message saying, it's in here, get out there. Oh, okay. As soon as I did that, it took off. So I'm very blessed to do this. And I would like to do we're also here to obviously empower others. And look, it's important to me, you know, one thing I teach people is you've got to find that passion, that power within. You know, look at the people we've got tonight. You know, they've all got a passion. They've all got something that really trips their trigger and gets them out there to make changes in the world. And it's important to find your sovereign self, find your passion, and also connect with your Starseed family, because your Starseed family, again, is something where if you meditate with them, they do download your gifts. You know, you suddenly become like, how do I know all this? And well, that's the Starseed family, meditating with them. So I do encourage people to do that. But half of it is being able to actually release emotions, because we ingest, you know, look at the state of the world. It's you know, I don't know what you call it, nuts, crazy, whatever you call it. And that's not a judgment. I never judge something. It's an observation. You know, the world's crazy. We need to get back and be able to release the emotions and get back to a place where we're surrendered. God's got our back, and we can get out there, like Matt said, and be service to others. So, right, so I've gone 5 minutes. My wife's timing is. I'm gonna do the healing. I promise. I'm not going to run over because I'll be in trouble. So what I'm going to do is do a healing as quickly as possible, and I would just like to demonstrate Melchizedek healing. I'm one of 5 Melchizedek beings, 84% Melchizedek DNA. So I'm going to use the Melchizedek beings to do some healing. So what I want you to do is sit back and relax, if that's okay. And I define God as God, Goddess, prime creator of all that is. I want you to know it's, I'm just using the word God because it's quicker to do this. So I'd like to ground yourself. I'd like to say, I am of God. I ground myself to the earth. And I accept this healing for my highest good. Right, what we'll do is put in a portal. One of the things about healing is put in a portal, bond it into Merkabah fields. That means you're in a sacred space because that beings can come from the ultimate dimension and do some work on it. So let's just do that. Ultimate dimension, 8 portals around each person on this call or listening in the future. Close it off for Ethan Deer. Got a command 27 each direct Merkabah fields around that person. With their sacred point in the center of the Merkabah fields, bonding the portals to the Merkabah fields and program a blueprint of that person's DNA in the keys of Enoch, so as not to allow anything except for the highest good to enter. Right, we're going to remove any attachments. If you have an attachment, Anunnaki Draconian, sit in the abdomen, hang on the shoulders. Removing, they're going to escort them out in your sacred space. You're going to feel a drawing sensation from the torso out to the tummy button. If you have any archons attached to you, we're going to remove those. So they're actually interdimensional beings. They have no body, but they're attached to you. So it's like having negative energy drawn out of you. And if you have any Luciferians, they're very snarly, connected to the Vatican, as we know. So when they leave, they can contort your body or speak through your voice box in a raspy voice. So removing those now, and then because that being going to take them back to the ultimate dimension with unconditional love. Well, I'm going to quickly code the meridians. So what you're going to feel is you get stuck energies in the meridian. So the Melchizedek beings take their hands down your body. So you're going to feel angelic hands go down your body or light or bin. So go from your crown, down your face, the back head on the left, down your neck, cross left shoulder, down your arm. The right, we're doing the same. On the left, we're going down your neck, down your chest, down your abdomen, out to the hip. On the right, we're doing the same. On the left, we're going from your hip down your thigh, over your knee, down your calf, and out to the foot. And on the right, we're doing the same. Right, we're going to give you 2 types of people on this call. People with spirochetes and Nantet, people without. What's spirochetes and Nantet? It's Borrelia line, HIV/AIDS, Agent Orange, Morgellons, and COVID, the weaponized, let's call it the needly thing. We all know what that means. So if you have that, we're going to give you a different energy. So you guys without spirochetes and Nantet, you're going to feel light floaty, warm, tingly, really relaxed. And you guys with spirochetes and Nantet replicating your body, you're going to feel electrostatic energy, or I call it tachyon energy. It's space-time continuum energy. So it's very electrostatic. It starts off subtle. It's going to get stronger, stronger and stronger. Then it's going to plateau. Right, I'm going to just quickly work on the liver and kidneys. A lot of people have adrenal issues because of emotion. So they're going to work on the adrenals. They'll get warm and tingly. They're going in now. So this is psychic surgery. They're going to clear the adrenals of emotion. So you're going to feel tugging and pulling there. If your liver's paralyzed, what people don't realize is you can get a good reading on the liver from the enzyme count, but it can be paralyzed. So it's not processed toxin, so you get a heavy head. So we're taking everyone's liver up now and in the future. So it's getting higher and higher. So if you've got liver issues, if it's paralyzed, your head's going to get lighter and lighter. Lighter and lighter. Lighter and lighter. Okay, it's going to get towards 100%. So I've only got a minute left. So what I'm going to do is do a couple of things. One is I'm going to do 3 heart shock releases, and then I'm going to spin the Merkabah fields. That'll blow your mind. It might blow your pantaloons up, who knows. So what we're going to do is we're going to do heart shock releases. We have 100,000 layers. So the Melchizedek beings are going in now. They're going to pull out the biggest layer affecting you right now. As they pull it out, it's going to get tight. Depending on where the emotion affects the body, it will get tight, either lower back, lower abdomen, solar plexus, breastbone, throat, upper back, shoulder, or neck. can move around, the intensity can change. So it should start to get tight, tighter and tighter. When it releases, breathe it out from your chest. Okay, second one, tighter and tighter, tighter and tighter. Breathe it out when it releases. Third one, tighter and tighter, tighter and tighter. Okay, breathe it out when it releases. You may get a reaction to that. So the last thing I'm going to do very quickly is spin the Merkaba field. We have 3 Merkaba fields around us. We're going to spin them at 3/4 speed of light. It'll help you. It's connected to your soul. It's the transmitter and receiver frequency. So Melchizedek beings doing that. So we're going to accelerate them. It'll get faster. So I'm taking up towards 0.1 of the speed of light. It's going to get faster and faster. 0.2 of the speed of light. 0.3 of the speed of light. Should get really, really spacey. 0.4 of the speed of light. 0.5 of the speed of light. 0.6 of the speed of light. 0.7 the speed of light. The Melchizedek beings are spinning these in contra rotation. Okay, I'm going to take it up to 0.75, so you should feel really spacey. And now I'm going to put the prayer protection around you and then end that. So, okay, dear God, for everyone on this call or registered or listening in the future, command we create a sphere of ultimate dimensional unconditional love around each and every person and the Merkaba field to protect them from any negative entities, fractals thereof, manipulations and transmissional frequencies that are not for that person's highest good through all space-time continuum in every dimension. And so we thank you, God, send you our unconditional love, and so be it. So I hope you all enjoyed that. I'm sorry I didn't have more time, and I love you all. Thank you for all your messages. It's been absolutely beautiful being part of this. God bless.
Thank you, Christopher. And a reminder, everybody, that you can subscribe to his newsletter. You can get very involved in the beautiful work he's doing. I noticed in the chat box, one woman talking about how his monthly prayers changed her and saved her life. So you go to globalenlightenmentproject.com, globalenlightenmentproject.com. Subscribe, just like I just did. And that's where you can learn much more about the wonderful work that he's doing. So thank you so much, Christopher, blessing us with your presence. Really appreciate it. I'm going to turn it back over to our co-host, Ben, and he's going to introduce our next guest. And for Ben and Gary, just let me know when you want to play that video.
Oh, very, very good. Wonderful, wonderful. What an amazing show, Scott, so far. Incredible people all leaning in to love and service together. It's super, super inspiring to be here. And our next special guest, very, very special guest, is an amazing man with an incredible heart. He has an extraordinary resume, but even more than that, just his devotion to using music and creativity and art to uplift humanity and all of life. Someone who is an inspiration in terms of his musical genius, and at the same time, really being an incredible example, even an avatar of the offering that he brings to the world. And we're so delighted, Gary Malkin, to have you in World Unity Week, together with Sarah McCrum, these extraordinary offerings that have been created. Deep bows to your mastery, and thank you for your loving, loving service.
Oh my God. To have that introduction from one of my heroes, it has been my great honor and pleasure to work.
Gary, your audio is too low. We need to be able to hear you a little better.
Apologies. Oh my God.
That's right.
I forgot my microphone. I'm sorry about that, you guys.
7 Emmy Awards, and he still forgot his microphone.
It's astounding. So what I was saying was what an honor to have Ben introduce me. It has been such a great pleasure to work closely with John and Summers and Rhiannon and the Unity team, and with Ben. It's been extraordinary. And I when Ben called me 4.5 months ago, I went, no, don't ask me. I'm too busy and I can't say no to you. And it was a fabulous yes to say. So the first thing I'm going to do is something that I've never done before. Yesterday, I was walking and I heard the sound of an accordion and a funky bass, string bass, and an out-of-tune honky-tonk piano play this melody. And it was so catching and fetching that I suddenly realized there was a song being delivered to me, and I finished it a few minutes ago. So forgive me if I was looking like I was singing. But so this song is just literally, I have never performed it, and I barely even put the chords to it. But this is the song that moves me to sing at the dawn of World Unity Week. Just imagine kind of a Tom Waits scratchy sound and a voice and an out-of-tune honky-tonk piano. Hold on, that's not the right sound. There we go. It's a pity that we don't remember. My heart is broken. There's so much at stake. But it's time now. Time to remember that we're all together, sharing the ache. An old man with cancer, he has no insurance. His kids have left him to start their own homes. The nights are lonely, but he's still a father. Will you reach out so he's never alone? We are all here. We are all here. We are all here to love. We are born here. We will fall here. We are all here to love. Little Josie, confused and bewildered, her sweet mother is in so much pain. Each day she sees her worried and frightened, but her young heart knows that we're all the same. Loyal Susan, she's well in her 60s. Her sick parents are in slow decline. She has her longings, sweet dreams of the future, but the daughter shows up while her brothers are blind. It's a pity that we don't remember. Our hearts are broken with so much at stake. But it's time now. It's time to remember we got each other so we can awake. So you can sing with me. We are all here. We are all here. We are all here to love. We are born here. We can rise here. We are all here. We are all here. We are all here to love. We're all here to love.
That's so beautiful. Just beautiful. Gary, did you want me to play that video right now?
Oh, I was going to do it in the next window, but that's totally, I think I'd rather do that. But it's so scary when you launch a song that you don't even know yet. But can you imagine like the Tom Waits kind of approach? It's going to, I just looking at Marty Casey's face when I was singing, I think, Marty, thank you for just the energy I felt from your face was like, oh, thank you. Makes me feel good to launch this song completely fresh. Thank you.
Absolutely beautiful, Gary. And hey, do tell us a little bit about your Soul Song Saturdays then.
I'm so glad you brought that up because I started it once a week and that was every Sunday and it was too much. So generally the first Saturday of the month, but this July it'll be the second because of July 4th. So probably nobody will be able to remember. But Soul Song Saturday is a place where how music can change the air and bring our hearts and souls right on the surface, right? Well, it's a full hour where we use music to really be the device that connects our hearts with our minds by taking an intention and a prayer and setting it to us. And I get to set somebody's prayer or intention to a song, and that song becomes a full talismanic reminder of what their hopes and dreams are. And it becomes a fractal of the whole because I've never seen a soul song that wasn't something that everyone universally shared. So it's a beautiful hour together when you get to set your prayers and intentions for your life into a song that lives forever. And I would love you guys to go on my Facebook page, Soul Song Saturdays, I think. Soul Song Sundays or Saturdays. It hasn't been changed. But please join me, and I'd love it if you came. It's really wonderful to bring your family or your friends that you work with. You create kind of a look at the obstacle and create a shifted positive spin on what you want to shift. So that's what it's about.
We will put the proper link into the chat. And we've got more Gary coming up a little bit later on in the show. Love you, Gary.
Such a pleasure to be here, you guys. Thank you.
There's so many wonderful aspects to our Global Peace Tribe, and each and every one of you is important. And, whether it's through healing, whether it's through activism, and one of the wonderful parts of Global Peace Tribe is light touch. And I do it every day. When Deborah and I are having our meetings with Jay and Jan, we do it. And so a lot of people ask, well, what is light touch? So here's a wonderful new video to share a little bit about it. And it's all about gratitude. Here we go.
Thank you for divine appointments and meaningful synchronicities. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for blessing our blessings. Thank you, thank you. 10,000
Blessings.
Blessings. Thank you for perfect love. May my light touch partner be blessed.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
Thank you for divine love, for miracles and good fortune. 10,000 thank yous. May all my relationships be blessed.
Blessings.
Blessings. Times 10, times 10, times 10, times 10. Thank you for divine appointments and meaningful synchronicities.
Thank you, Jay Mayer, for helping us remember to practice light touch. And I want to thank a lot of you that have donated. I'll do this a few times, but so many of you have already donated. So I want to thank Daniel, Francine. Of course, there's a lot of anonymous people. So thank you, all of you. You know yourselves who you are. Sophia Roberts, one of our dear friends, a wonderful musician. Deirdre, Jan Kaplan, thank you, Jan. Michelle Heron, John Raymer, God bless you, John, thank you. Jay Mayer, thank you, Jay. Pamela Young, Susan Woodridge, David Barak, Deirdre Manning, Susie Karasik, myself, and Suzanne Marie. These are all some of the people, along with a lot of anonymous, who have already donated to our Stand Up for Justice campaign. Please continue to do that donation. It really makes a difference. Again, it's Stand Up for Justice, and it's the Jane campaign. The GoFundMe is going to go into the chat box periodically. Your donations really mean a lot to us. Thank you so very much. Now to introduce our next speaker, here's Deborah.
Thank you, Scott. And now I get to introduce another woman who's very connected with World Unity Week. Sadhvi Bhagawati Saraswati is a renowned spiritual leader in India. She's also the president of Divine Shakti Foundation, which is a charitable organization bringing education and empowerment to women and children. She lives in India at Parmath Niketan Rishikesh ashram, and that's where I met her. She's been there for 24 years. So she originally came from the US, but she had this spiritual calling to go to India and has had an incredible life there, giving spiritual discourses, satsang, and meditation, and leads amazing humanitarian programs. And she just released her new book, Hollywood to the Himalayas. So an incredible spiritual woman that has a lot to share about global unity. Welcome so much, Sadhvi. It's so great to have you on our program. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much, Deborah. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Ben, Adil, the beautiful sponsors. Thank you, everyone. It's such a joy to be together on this Saturday Night Alive. And this really is what makes us come alive. When we come together in unity, in oneness, in love, we actually become alive. Otherwise, we're living, sure, the body is doing its thing, but we're not really alive until we come together in this love, in this union, in this truth, and in this collective awareness of this higher truth, expanded truth, deeper truth of who we are. So it's really such a beautiful joy to be together. And especially during the time of summer solstice, the time in which, for those of us in the Northern Hemisphere, we have the most light, the least amount of darkness. And of course, Juneteenth, the day that marks and celebrates the beginning of the beginning of the beginning of us beginning to begin to begin to begin to actually embrace equality and justice for all. And it's also Ganga Dashera. It's the day that Mother Ganga, this river, we worship and experience as the divine mother goddess. Today is the day that she came on earth. And as the story goes, she came on earth for the sons of King Sagar. It's a long story, I won't go into all of it, but she came on earth to liberate these sons who had been burned to ash. And it was told that if the waters of this goddess Ganga flowed over the ashes, that King Sagar's sons would attain liberation, ultimate divine connection. So Ganga came for them after many generations of descendants did a lot of sadhana. She came, but she stayed. And to me, that's what is so powerful and so precious. She came for that, but she stayed for us, to bring us liberation, to bring us freedom, not from the body, not just after death. The body is not the problem. People talk about liberation from the body, but it's not the body we need freedom from. This body is an extraordinary gift of the divine. It's liberation, freedom in the body we need. That jiva mukti, that liberation while living. Liberation from what then? Well, liberation from our ignorance that makes us think we are separate beings. Liberation from that suffering, that incredible suffering that we experience when we live in this illusion of separation, and that we then bring unto others through abuse, through harm, through violence, through betrayal, through stealing. All of that is predicated upon this ignorance of separation. And so it's very beautiful that we're also celebrating today the beginning of World Unity Week, a beautiful week dedicated to the celebration of our collective awareness of our unity. So it's a celebration of our unity, but also a celebration of the awareness, us waking up to our unity. And in celebration of all of that, I would like to begin with a special mantra, a sacred mantra. And the mantra says, Asatoma sadgamaya, tamsoma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritam gamaya. And it means, O Lord, O God, O divine by any name and every name, lead us from the falsehood of separation to the truth of our oneness. Lead us from the darkness of ignorance in which we suffer and we bring suffering to others, to the light of wisdom and truth. Lead us from this false identification with our physical bodies that are born, that change, that have a specific color, a race, a religion, a size, a sexual orientation, and that ultimately perish. Lead us from identification with that to identification with our true self, that which was never born will never die, that spirit, that soul. Lead us there, O divine. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om peace, Om peace, Om peace. And I love this mantra because to me it really, it holds a crystallization of where we are and the truth that is unfolding within us. And within the Indian spiritual tradition and our scriptures, we are told and taught Vasudev Kutumbakam. It means the world is a family. Literally, it means the earth is Goddess Vasudha, and we are her children. We are her family. And the time for this awareness is right now. The time for this knowing, this truth, this awareness is right now. For us to manifest it in every minute and every moment. Because unity and oneness and awareness are not just hashtags. They are the truth the highest and deepest truth of who we are. And sure, hashtag them, no problem. But don't only hashtag them. We have to live them. And when we live them not just on our yoga mats, not just on our meditation cushion, but in every minute and every moment of our lives. And this is, of course, the time as well of International Day of Yoga, the day dedicated to this truth of our oneness. And yoga, as we know, of course, is not just the asanas, not just the exercises, but yoga means union. And it's literally every minute and every moment how we live. And this comes so beautifully full circle to the theme of World Unity Week, which is let's do something. And to the core of Vedic spirituality, which in many ways is held by the Bhagavad Gita, this scripture for all, which is rooted upon the teaching of yoga, but the teaching of yoga through action, karma yoga. Literally, karma means action, yoga means union. So karma yoga is what we do every minute and every moment, every action that is rooted upon an awareness of union, an awareness of oneness, and that brings us to greater oneness and union. And that confluence of our karma yoga, our jnana yoga, the yoga of wisdom, of knowledge, of truth, and bhakti yoga, the yoga of love and devotion, such that when we act, when we move through the world, whether it's what we are eating, what we are buying, what we are wearing, what we are speaking, what we are doing with our choices about the food in our bodies, about the clothes on our bodies, about the tap that we turn on and turn off, about all of that, about how we move through the world. As we take those steps, we need to realize that's yoga. That is our practice. It is our practice of yoga in action. It is our practice of yoga in wisdom, in awareness, and our practice of yoga in love. And so I'm so deeply grateful, joyful to be with you all here this evening as we come together to celebrate that truth of who we are and the beautiful, exquisite opportunity we've been given by the universe to not only know that in our minds, not only tag it or post it or share it online, but to actually live it in every minute and every moment. Every choice becomes our spiritual practice. And then we take that spirituality into every moment of life. So thank you so much to all of you again, and deep, deep love on this beautiful day to you all.
Sadhviji, blessings. I just wanted to take a moment to honor you and your incredible light that you're sharing with so many people through your teaching and your practice and your life of devotion and service. We're so honored that you're a World Unity Week ambassador. Many people may have seen you on the opening ceremony yesterday, that extraordinary moment standing in the Pacific Ocean with water from the sacred Ganga and having this incredible blessing as the waves were coming in. It was so beautiful and powerful. And just to mention that we are really looking forward to, on the International Day of Yoga at 10 o'clock Eastern time, you're holding an incredible event from the river to the ocean, where dawn in Rishikesh will be connected to sunset in the Pacific Ocean, and these sacred waters will come together. Thank you, Sadhviji, for all of your beautiful offerings and gifts. You're a blessing to us all and to the earth. Thank you.
And maybe you can put into the chat box the timing for that for people and which room it's going to be in, or if it's going to be on the main page. And thank you for talking about this. We are moving from the illusion of separation into the awakening of oneness. On so many levels it's happening. So thank you for so eloquently stating that. And speaking of eloquence, she has a new book out, or coming out. We can pre-order it. And what an intriguing title, Hollywood to the Himalayas, A Journey of Healing and Transformation, her own personal story. And Jane Goodall at the top writes, having read the book, having previewed it, vivid and poetic, her journey is a river of love, compelling in its authenticity and unflinching honesty, a must for anyone who is interested in exploring different paths. Wow, what a beautiful quote from an amazing woman. And you can learn all about it, everybody, by going to the website, hollywoodtothehimalayas.com. hollywoodtothehimalayas.com. And wow, that's going to be an amazing book for us. And definitely, it's coming out August 3rd. So we'll do a Global Peace Tribe Recommends promotion in our show just before that to remind everybody about it. And so thank you again for blessing us with your presence tonight.
Thank you.
We are one. We are one. We are one. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, 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 oh. We are one. One love. We are one. One love. We are one. One love. Yeah, yeah. One love. 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 One love.
What a perfect song for us to hear right after the message that we just heard. And it really is the message of unity. We are one love. So this is our Global Peace Tribe announcements, and I want to thank a few people. Once again, I really want to thank our sponsor, Tom Palladino, who makes it happen. Tom, thank you so much for sponsoring tonight's show. I'm so proud of every show we do, and tonight's is an especially good one. And he doesn't know that I'm going to put the spotlight on him, but I'm going to thank Adil from Unify, because Unify has been such a big part of the success of Saturday Night Live. And thank you, Adil, for carrying us every week. We reach tens of thousands through Unify, and I know we get people from all over the world now watching us. So thank you, Adil. And we're going to hear from Adil a little bit later on in the show. So thank you so much. We really appreciate our friends at Unify. And we appreciate all of our broadcast partners. Certainly Unify, honestly, has been kind of our most significant broadcast partner in terms of the number of people reached. But we want to thank all the broadcast partners. There's a dozen of them, and they all are really precious to us. John and Summer Raymer from the Sign Network, where are they? There they are. We are reaching about 100 Facebook groups and pages right now because of John and Summer and their wonderful Sign Network. So thank you so much, John and Summer. Really appreciate that. Of course, we want to thank our buddy Alan Steinfeld and his New Realities YouTube channel. Always carries us, gets usually placed in those. I want to thank our friends at Light Touch. Light Touch makes this happen. And so many other people that carry us every week. New Earth One, my organization, Love Coach Academy, Earth Dance, Humanities Team, Portal to Ascension, the Disclosure Fest Foundation, Global Days of Unity, Earthwalk, and Enlightened World Network. Thank you, everybody, for making this show happen. And a lot goes into making this show happen. And to tell you more about what's going on and to offer some more appreciations, here's Deborah.
Thank you, Scott. And I want to thank you so much for all your donations to Stand Up for Justice, which is great, and also for the donations that you give us when you sign up for our Zoom link for our season. And yes, we are launching season 6, An Incredible Mix, making contact, building connections, and raising consciousness. And I also want to share that for this new season, we are looking for sponsors. We are looking for volunteers. So if you feel connected in that way, want to contact us, I'm going to post that information in the chat room. And also, please spread the word about Saturday Night Alive. Your word of mouth is the most golden. So please spread the links for signing up on for our show next week or for season 6 coming in. And I want to share with you about our show next week, which is the last show of season 5. It's going to be amazing again. It's also the last day of World Unity Week. Our theme is building our harmonious future with Indigenous and spiritual wisdom. And we've got Gary Zukoff on the show, Andrew Harvey, and also a host of many other people that are part of World Unity Week again. And we've got a video to share with you. So Scott, would you like to share the video?
Absolutely.
Light Touch presents June 26th, Building a Harmonious Future with Indigenous and Spiritual Wisdom. On Saturday Night Alive, we feature Gary Zukoff, New York Times bestselling author. Chief Phil Lane Jr., one of our favorite Indigenous wisdom keepers. And Andrew Harvey, author, scholar, and founder of the Sacred Activism Movement. Becky Stuzik, a collaborator with World Unity Week. Tot Eric Gonzalez, a spiritual elder and North and South American wisdom keeper. Joanne Shenandoah, our beloved Grammy Award-winning musician and peace ambassador. Rocky Dawooni, Grammy-nominated musician and activist. Jaya Lakshmi and Anandaji, singing beautiful heart mantras. Paul Isaac, musician, farmer from Hawaii, and community leader and soon-to-be father. Plus, Heather Rogers, magician and transformational performer. Saturday Night Alive for the Global Peace Tribe, building a harmonious future with Indigenous and spiritual wisdom.
And again, we want to thank Jay Mayer and Jan Kaplan for that video and for producing this upcoming show. So thank you so much, and sponsoring the upcoming show. And yes, we are launching season 6, An Incredible Mix. So it's amazing how these shows come together. Some of it's divinely inspired, some of it's just reaching out for high-level collaborations, and others just tuning into the pulse of what's happening now. And they just fall into place. So we are going to share with you what we're going to be doing for July. So Scott, would you like to share our poster and share with people the shows that we have planned for July?
Absolutely. Although they don't just fall into place, I must say. There's a lot of work that goes into putting these shows together, and I'm really grateful to all the work that Deborah does, Jay, Jan, Debbie, all of our team. And our team is growing. So here's what we've got planned for July. On July 3rd, our first one of the things we do now is we always start our season with celebrating our past shows and looking to the future. So we're going to have some special live presenters, some of your favorite people, but we're also going to show some of the videos of some of the key moments from people like Deepak Chopra, Greg Braden, Matt Kahn. So that's always a really fun show, and we'll have live music as well. On July 10th, well, Mark Sims is doing it again. He just decided, in fact, he announced it on my Straight Talk show 2 weeks ago, that there's going to be another harmonic convergence this year. And so, of course, we're going to be celebrating that with them and have all sorts of amazing speakers and musicians, all connected to making contact with our galactic family, as well as making contact with each other. On July 17th, we really continue a theme that is a big part of tonight, which is the importance of equality in relationships, including social and racial justice. It's great that the government has declared Juneteenth a federal holiday, but as we've heard several people already say, it is only the beginning. We all must take a stand. We all must do things every day to make a difference. And so Pato and Antoinette are going to be our co-hosts, and it's going to be a very important and special show. On July 24th, we're bringing back our friends from Wholehearted and continuing to provide tools for dealing with addiction and recovery with Gabor Mate, Marianne Williamson, and some other very important speakers. TJ Woodward, my friend and coach, will be co-hosting. And then finally, July 31st, our sponsor, Lori Grace, who we so is helping us to learn all about the power of brain fitness, all the ways that our brain connects to our body. And we'll bring in doctors and experts to help us so we can have the most vibrant health possible. Again, I want to mention that when we put this show together, we really wanted to celebrate Juneteenth, but we also wanted to celebrate World Unity Week. They were both happening at the same time. And so to really continue the celebration of Juneteenth, because at the last minute, Pato and Antoinette decided to do something wonderful. So I am going to play at the end of our show the pre-recorded video that Antoinette provided us. And of course, we are raising money for her organization. And I want to invite all of you, please come tomorrow morning to my Sacred Sunday show. Every Sunday morning, I do a show, and I usually bring on one or two special guests from Saturday Night Alive. And tomorrow, it's going to be Antoinette. And that's when we can really drop into understanding and celebrating Juneteenth. And we'll continue to support the Stand Up for Justice Jane campaign. So please join us tomorrow morning, just as we want to continue this whole process. And of course, continue watching and participating in all the World Unity Week events. What an amazing we've got.
And Scott, I'd like to share that I'm posting the link for the chat room to sign up for season 6. And we'd love you to sign up now and give us a little green love when you sign up for the Zoom link. That's how we work. So we love your generous donations, and that will help us create the whole season forward. So I'm posting that in the chat room and on the emails that you get from us with the replay on Monday and on Wednesday. You'll get all these links where you can still donate to Stand Up for Justice, and you can sign up for the new season. So watch for the emails on Monday, and then Wednesday it'll be launching next week's show. So thank you so much.
You know, one of the things that's an option when we register for our new season, gift it to somebody. Think of somebody you know. I just noticed in the chat box today, several new people going, "Oh my God, where have you been?" Well, actually, we've been here every Saturday night since April of 2020, but people are still discovering us. And a wonderful way to support us and to support your friends is to sponsor someone. Let them know about the show. It's a wonderful thing to do. All right, it's time for some more Gary Malkin. And Gary is someone I've known for, I think, Gary, we've known each other for about 30 years. We go way, way back. We were both teenagers, of course, at the time. And Gary, I think you want me to show that video first?
Well, I want to bring Ben on, if I could, and talk about this just for a second.
Absolutely.
And what I want to first share before I sing the song that is more uplifting and is that, you know, I have been working for a long time to really help people understand that music isn't just entertainment, but it's also entertainment. And what I've noticed is that famous song, "Don't It Always Seem to Go That You Don't Know What You've Got Till It's Gone" by Joni Mitchell, is that what's happened to Zoom is we're suddenly aware of what's gone when we're no longer near one another, right? And so I love the fact that I engaged John and Ben and John to address the fact that we are not all here when we're here on the Zoom call. And they agreed to let Sarah and I create these unique attunement tools. And we're about to see one. We have to move quick, but I just, Ben, wanted to ask you, what is it about the idea that Sarah and I created a 2-minute attunement. What is it about that you like that brings a distinction to the way people gather on Zoom?
Beautiful, Gary. It's incredible. It's a technology for presence and presencing and coming together. You know, we've all been, I'm sure, on probably too many Zoom calls over the last 15 months. This is an opportunity to come in and have a different experience, an experience of togetherness and unity and a shared journey that elevates consciousness and transforms the space. So through the creativity of the music, the original music, which is done in a spontaneous way, together with the voice coming in. I mean, it's really an extraordinary, beautiful contribution. Can't wait to share it with everybody.
So what you're about to see, everybody, is just, it's not a couch potato sport. It's meant to inspire you to awaken your mitochondria, take a deep breath, and let your heart become able to follow your heart, trust your gut, and listen to your goosebumps. It's designed to let that happen again, rather than just be talking. So thanks, Scott, for sharing one of the 10 transformances that we created for World Unity Week. Sarah McCrum and Jerry.
As we open this virtual space, let's connect and be present with each other. Let's get to know each other with kindness and gentleness. Let's listen to each other with generosity in our hearts. Let's learn from each other with curiosity and wonder. We are a part of nature. We are a part of Earth. We are a part of life. May we use our time together to add to peace and truth and goodness in the world. May we honor the uniqueness and innate beauty of every member of this community. May we be united with each other. For the sake of ourselves and of all future generations.
Beautiful, just beautiful. Oh,
So I'm more of a composer and a producer in the studio, and I give keynote speeches so I can sing. It's my way of getting that in there because I love it so much. 20 years ago, I created an event with the National Cathedral of Washington, D.C., honoring the 1-year anniversary of 9/11. And it's really poignant to notice that we're not as close to the unity we were hoping for when we sang this that night. Here it goes. It's written with Christina Frith. If all souls were brought here to care, why are there so many crying? If all souls were brought here to love, why so much needless dying? The earth is one country and mankind its citizens. Let us raise a flag of our one human nation. Bury the hate and water the love. It's time to bring in the world. Bring in the world to a place of harmony. Bring in the world to a place of unity. As we wrap our loving arms around this changing earth, we can bring in the world. Your way is not like mine, so why do I feel like I know you? We're worlds apart, yet here in my heart, I'm gonna keep moving towards you. Ooh, I'm gonna keep moving towards you. Oh, the earth is one country and mankind its citizens. Let us raise a flag of our one human nation. Bury the hate and water the love. It's time to bring in the world. Bring in the world to a place of harmony. Bring in the world to a place of unity. As we wrap our loving arms around this changing earth, we can bring in the world. Bring in the young, the old, let your stories be told. The near, the far, whoever you are, the wrong, the right, we don't have to fight. It's time to bring in the world. Bring in the young, the old, let your stories be told. The near, the far, whoever you are, the wrong, the right, we don't have to fight. It's time to bring in the world. Oh, oh, it's time to bring in the world. Oh, oh, help us to bring in the, imagine the gospel choir. Oh, oh, bring in the world. Oh, oh, bring in the world. Oh, oh, help us to bring the world. Oh, oh, bring in the world. Oh, oh, bring in the world. Oh, oh, help us to bring in the world. Oh, oh, bring in the world. Oh, oh, bring in the world. Oh, oh, help us to bring in the world. Oh, Lord, help us to bring in the world. Help us to bring with Unity Week this week, and may we bring in the world.
Wow. Fantastic. Just fantastic.
Gary Malkin, that was awesome.
Well, there is more Gary Malkin available by going to his website, and it is wisdomoftheworld.com. Wisdomoftheworld.com, and definitely join his community, put in your name and your email, get on his email list, because Gary is always doing wonderful and incredible things.
Thank you so much. I'm so thrilled. I actually kind of invited myself into this night because I am so in love with the magic that Ben and John and the World Unity Week are creating together. It's truly remarkable how co-creative collaboration family is being incubated in the most accelerated way. And I just am deep admiration for the whole team. Thanks a lot for letting me participate, and I love you all.
We love you
You're
too.
amazing, Gary. You are amazing. And that song you played, the earlier one, the original, it is a new original. That is just an incredible offering. And your genius is extraordinary. These original music and composing, you elevate and lift us all. Thank you, Gary Malkin. Thank you for sharing your extraordinary gifts with all of us and with the world. And, I just want to say how blessed we really are. The incredible people that are giving their amazing music. We have Gary, and last night we had Kristen Hoffman with extraordinary original music. Oh wow! And Cornflower and Bubba Israel. I mean, all just in the opening ceremony, which was this morning, right in the US. So,
can I just say one thing? For those of you who are checking out World Unity Week, don't get overwhelmed. Use it like an oracle deck and just show up with your schedule and your gut and follow it, because there's so much you could never participate in it all. But it's kind of like life. Just follow the flow and the flow of life. And there's not a single thing you won't love. You'll find the thing that's right for you.
Thank you, Gary. That's great advice. And if you manage not to get overwhelmed, you're doing better than most of the rest of us. So good luck with that. But it's amazing. And, just the incredible gifts and people stepping into their genius. And the person who's going to speak next is another example. Our next speaker is a great example of someone who has devoted their life to this mission. They have received a call of holy power and have responded to it devotedly and dedicatedly for a decade plus. My dear brother, Adil Kassam, founder and principal at Unify, such an amazing visionary and devoted man who's really putting the mission first and above all else. And so much of what we're able to do in World Unity Week last year and this year, what John and I and all of the team were able to do was because of what you had built at Unify. So this is another great example, Adil, of how when we all come together with our resources and our gifts and our expertise and genius and put it together to the service of the Most High, that extraordinary and beautiful, wonderful things are unfolding. So deep gratitude to you, brother. And it's amazing to have you here on Saturday Night Alive.
Wow, I'm honored to be here with all of you. Well, I've moved a little bit. Oops, that's okay. It's you take in the times we're living in right now, right? Like, and what we see on the media or here with our family and friends, and consider just this moment where you are right now. It's a miracle. It's an absolute miracle that we could have the internet, that we're in the midst of a solstice, right this very second, right? The stars have aligned. There's a World Unity Week happening. Ben, hats off to you in terms of your vision, but also your generosity and your inclusivity, or just really your love, your amazing servant leadership. It's just unreal. The way you're able to galvanize, what is it, like 600 or 700 contributors from around the world and just stay sane through it all. It's just a tidal wave of blessings. And inside of that World Unity Week, there's Juneteenth, there's all these offerings, and World Refugee Day tomorrow, meditation and yoga from all these refugee camps around the world. They're going to be sharing their blessings. And then World Yoga Day. You consider World Yoga means to be one with or to unify with. And so this is just like this tidal wave of unity. And what greater medicine do we as a human race need? What greater reminder do we need than the unity that preceded any differences in political affiliation or religion or culture? And there's so many examples of those differences in our world, but this is like a signal and amongst all this noise, and I love that you guys I love, Gary, that you're increasing the signal to noise ratio, and Scott and Deborah, the tireless work you guys are doing. And for those of you that are tuning in, it's like you're getting to watch people's dharma, their service, their tireless dedication, and their acts of devotion and love to you, to a world that we know is in our hearts anyways. And that, so that it's also an invitation for you to participate, for you to join, for you to come with your blessings as well. Like it's all been designed thanks to John and Summer and the entire team. I mean, probably over 100 people working on this, not only to offer this blessing, but to invite you to join this global peace tribe, to join this family of love and kindness and tenderness, and bring your gifts, whatever they look like. It might be painting or a prayer, or it might be a transmission like Sadhviji. But you're all are welcome here, and I hope you can feel the heart of that and feel the warmth of that and the welcome of that. It's such a gift to know. I mean, it brings me deep hope to know that I'm here on the planet with other souls like this it's in their DNA. I mean, how many of us are there out there? Probably many billions that would stand for unity more than for one thing or the other. So perhaps we're at the birthing of something. Perhaps this is the start of a profound movement. And of course, this is what the prophets and seers and saints and sages from so many of the indigenous tribes and so many of the spiritual lineages spoke of. They spoke of a time where this would happen. And though we're, many in the world are experiencing loneliness and social distancing and social isolation, we can experience this too. So please invite your family and friends and go take a look at it. I don't think you'll get overwhelmed, but you might have some goosebumps, a little bit of tears, and those are healthy things to have. And you can watch all this at worldunityweek.org. You can watch this at facebook.com/unify. There's many other downstream partners that are sharing in this message. And if you feel like you've got an organization too that perhaps a large following or a page, come be part of the family. Like, we're all invited. So I don't even know what to say. I feel like it's like the mission of Unify to be able to share in this. And you were so kind in sharing all that I've done. It's definitely not been an I, it's been a huge we that have contributed. My entire, great thank you to the entire team behind the scenes, that you know who you are, how much I adore you, and thank you. And what good would an audience be unless there was a seed like this? Saturday Night Alive, like, hats off to you, Scott and Deborah, really, truly, for how much love and creativity and magic and you bring your curation of souls. It's just profound. I can't, amazing. I'm so proud to be part of this with all of you. I'll stop because I'll just keep going and going, just gushing over.
Your gushing is most welcome. We're digging the gushing. And, I imagine most people know, but in case they don't, please go on Facebook to Unify, because this is where so many incredible things are happening. And it's just go when you're on Facebook, and most of you are watching us on Facebook right now. Some of you are watching us on the Unify channel, but there's a lot of amazing things that are going on Unify. And really, if you just go to their videos and see, there I am, there we are. But scroll down, look at all the things that they're doing. World Yoga Day and World Unity Week, of course, a lot of the things are going to be carried. And there's some really cool playlists, including our shows. Want to see our shows that you've missed? Go back into the Unify playlists and continue on. There's really just so many beautiful things that you have created, Adele, and there's a lot more coming.
Totally. Binge watch that. Binge watch it with your kids.
Absolutely. Better than Netflix. Definitely better than Netflix. Adele, God bless you. Thank you so much for all that you do and for being with us tonight.
Thank you so much for having me here with you guys. Honored to be in such a group of such beautiful and esteemed souls. Thank you.
Thank you. Ben, tell us about our next guest.
Wow. Well, from the hits just keep on coming, Scott. This is quite a lineup that has been brought together on this day one of World Unity Week. My goodness. Our next guest is someone that's a great honor to introduce. Someone who has inspired and lived a life of devotion to healing the wounds at the deepest level of trauma that have taken place in the home city of St. Louis. And from there has spread out ripples of love and healing across not just the United States, but all over the world, visionary with the courage to found the Ungun Institute and to go into the hottest fires of human trauma, racial conflict, family breakdown, personal breakdown, to really be there to bring a special and unique medicine and healing of disarming trauma. And an amazing activist, musician, singer, artist who's given a heart and soul to this work, Dr. Marty K. Casey. It's such an honor to have you with us in Saturday Night Alive.
Look at me. Look at me. I am changing, trying every way I can. I am changing. I'll be better than I am. I'm trying to find a way to understand, but I need you. I need a hand. How many of you all need a hand today, or a friend to change? How many of you are dealing with something that you cannot deal with it alone? We have 284 people in this room with us who's been in this room from the beginning. And I pray right now that every hand is raised. And I'm going to tell you why I'm praying that every hand is raised, because we have been experiencing collective trauma. We have been seeing videos on television, on social media. We have been engaging in conversations with others who we love, but we find that they have a difference in opinions. We have been coming into Zoom rooms for well over a year, trying to find our tribe, to make the necessary changes, to not just look for the hope of humanity for tomorrow, but to also disarm the trauma of yesterday and yesterdays. Today is Juneteenth, Freedom Day, but everybody's not free. And the price that some have to pay to be free is a price they can't afford to pay. We've watched so many pay for freedom with their lives. My Black brothers and sisters have been paying for freedom with their lives. We have allies and friends and family that have stood by our side to say enough is enough. We've gotten to a place today where we are calling Juneteenth a national holiday. And I sit conflicted as a Black woman in the United States of America, because I sit somewhere between celebration and determination to continue down a road of doing the work that still needs to be done. See, if I get caught up in the word of it's a national holiday, we think it's over, but it's not. It's not. I wish I could sit here today and talk about Juneteenth in such a way that we would be dancing just like we were when Gary had us singing and song. But the truth of it is, that is the reason this is called Let's Do Something. I said to my brother, Ben Bowler, Ben, I can't just keep coming to the rooms on Wednesdays, showing up, and we talking about what we're doing, and we are world leaders, but it's not getting done. Let's do something. He says, oh, Dr. Marty, that's what we're going to do. And oh, my hat goes out to you, Ben. My heart expands for you, Ben, because you, my brother, you heard me. You gave me an opportunity to sit at the table, break bread with you over Zoom, and be heard. I think someone said that earlier. It's about us listening to one another. I want you to know the formula for getting us to a place of where we are right now and where we need to go is simple. We first have to give. What have you given to the cause? And I'm not just talking about a nonprofit or a program. Personally, what do you give on a daily basis? Because you have gifts and talents that are inside of you that don't belong to you. It's for you to give it back to the world. How are you showing up? What are you giving? The next thing you have to ask yourself, have I completely let it all go? Can I forgive all those who have brought harm to me, all those who have brought harm to my ancestors, all those who I have offended, those who I tomorrow may offend? Can I get to a place where I can forgive and even ask for forgiveness? I say to you publicly right now on this world stage, if Dr. Marty has offended you, hurt you in any way, I ask you, my brothers and sisters, for forgiveness before I close my eyes and leave this world. And I challenge you to do the same with others. The third thing that if we give and we forgive, then we enter into that special place, that place called healing. And you can't get there without doing those first two. Some of us been skipping a step. You have to be able to give, forgive, to heal. And once you've done all three, then you, my friend, you're living. Now you have the invitation to live your best life. Ben Bowler is living his best life because I've seen Ben give. I've watched him forgive, heal, and he lives his best life. This is a product of that. Ben, thank you for being that example for so many. At Ungun Institute, I live in that part of the healing because I can't just say, go heal yourself. You have to have tools and techniques in order to do that. We hear people talk about it all the time of what we need to do, but they don't necessarily tell you how. At Ungun Institute, I can assist you with that. And I ask you, if you're in a place today and you hear the call to do something, you must go inside yourself and ask. Don't look to the left or the right. Don't look in front of you, and definitely don't turn behind you. Start with you. And there's no judgment here, because guess what? In order for me to change, I needed someone to help me. I needed a hand. And the person that gave me a hand was my music teacher over 30-something years ago in high school, when I was showing up every day full of trauma and drama and dysfunction. I had a lot of hurt and pain that was inside of me that I needed to ungun. Ungun simply means to release and let go. I call the events that we have experienced that's caused that hurt and pain, I call those trauma bullets. We all have some trauma bullets. How could we not? What did you experience when you saw the video of George Floyd? What did you experience when we heard about COVID and we had to stay in the house for months and we lost our businesses and we lost our loved ones? What did you feel when you saw all of the dysfunction happening at the Capitol on January 6th? What did you feel? It's trauma. Trauma literally disrupts your emotions. Your senses have no idea what to feel. Humanly, it's as if our system shuts down. But ungun helps you to put that back in place again so that you can produce good energy. So I am asking you today to be present in World Unity Week all week long, wherever you choose, whatever room you go into. Those rooms you didn't get a chance to go into, continue to go back and watch it. I don't want you to feel like you're going to miss anything, but I want you to intentionally show up with those 4 things in mind. How can I give? How can I forgive so I can heal and then live my best life? These world leaders and organizations and businesses all week long are going to give you their best to help you get to that point. And I pray that some of you at least, take the time out and come and be with me on June 22nd at 8 p.m. in the Room of Justice and Healing, Ungun Institute. I want to get to know you. I want to help you. This is a modality that works for everyone. It doesn't matter what end of the spectrum you on. It could be personal trauma, collective trauma, to gun violence. I've dealt with it all. And by the grace of God, because I give him all the honor and the glory and the praise, that the gifts that I have, I give it back to you. May peace prevail on earth, and may peace begin with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Marty. Let's all take a minute of silence again as we begin this call for peace. And maybe everybody think about someone you want to forgive, or perhaps it's forgiving yourself. Yes. Thank you for that reminder about forgiveness. Thank you. I do want to also direct people to the Ungun Institute. I had the honor of having Marty on one of my shows, and definitely it's time for us to do that again, Marty. It's the unguninstitute.com, and it's such a powerful mission, and it's so incredibly important. Ungun uses the art to disarm trauma in the mind, body, and soul. So incredibly important, the work that you're doing. And give us one more time the date and time on World Unity Week, June 22nd.
At 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you will have an opportunity to come and meet, of course, myself and my wonderful team. I have an amazing team that they're just equipped to deal with it all. And so I hope that you come and join us to learn more about Ungun and how you can be ungunned. And I just thank you, Scott and Deborah, for having me here today. It was such a pleasure and an honor to be here with my brother Ben and all of the family, John and Summer and everyone. And I'm just excited because that's doing something. This is the doing something right here, Ben.
Well, stick around, everybody, because we are going to hear from John and Summer all about how to kind of navigate a little bit and more about what's happening with World Unity Week. But I think the only way that I could imagine following with such a powerful presentation, Dr. Morty, is a video that was made just for today by one of our favorite musicians, Nina Gray. And this is very, very beautiful. I think, Marty, you and everybody will enjoy what Nina has to say and what Nina has to sing.
Hello and greetings. So good to be here with you on the longest day of the year, on this glorious celebration that is Juneteenth, now recognized as a federal holiday, a move in the right direction of honoring all of the people that have made this nation what it is, contributed to the fabric of this nation's existence. The liberation continues. If you haven't taken a breath in a minute, I invite you to do that with me here tonight. As many places removed the bans on masks, and a year ago we remember a man that sparked a global movement whose words were, "I can't breathe." We are here living legacies of every ancestor's breath, every ancestor's dream, here in this reality, 2021, adopting new positions that this nation has never known. And we've got a ways to go until all feel truly liberated and free, all feel as though they can exist as who they are and who they came to be, live out their destinies, their legacies, that freedom to be. This song is an invitation to inquire upon what yours will be. Maybe you've heard me sing this song. Tonight I want you to take it in as a real question. When your bones are dust and your body returns to the earth, what did you do and who did you be for all that you care about while you were living? Saturday Night Alive, our hearts are beating. We're here breathing. So what are we bringing? What is our legacy? Are you looking to be entertained? Well, I don't know if I can help today. So many questions on my heart and on my brain. No, I don't wanna just entertain you. Are you looking for distraction? I mean, is that your course of action? Don't get me wrong, there is a time and place for fun, but I ain't looking to distract no one. 'Cause in a few years, our bodies return to the earth. Yeah, our bones and blood will become one with the dirt. And I don't know about you, but I want my moves to matter, so the young souls know that love is all we were after. So the young souls know that love is all we were after. What do you stand for? What brings you to your knees? What do you live for? Are you dying to see? What did you come here for? And what will you leave when you're gone? What lives on as your legacy? What do you stand for? What brings you to your knees? What do you live for? Are you dying to see? What did you come here for? And what will you leave when you're gone? What lives on as your legacy? What do you stand for? What brings you to your knees? What do you live for? What are you dying to see? What did you come here for? And what will you leave when you're gone? What lives on is your legacy. What do you stand for? What brings you to your knees? What do you live for? What are you dying to see? What did you come here for? And what will you leave when you're gone? What lives on as your legacy? I wanna know. Oh, what do we stand for? Every heart, every person, every hand to the middle now. We're lifting it up, yeah. Every heart, every hand, every person to the middle now. No, we're lifting it up. Oh, every heart, every hand, every person to the middle now. No, we're lifting it up. Oh, every heart, every hand, every person to the middle now. We're lifting it up. And you got a superpower, I'm certain. Encoded with life's vibration, imprinted a unique combination of ancient life. And you hear future cries on Saturday Night Alive. We share our light, we share our life. So what will your legacy be? What will your legacy be? Feel free to share in the chat what you feel called to bring forth through your soul in this lifetime. Is it more compassion? Is it more kindness and organization? A unit, a network, a community orientation? Lifting up, bringing through the vibration of solution, the vibration of we can all thrive too, and bringing in the love, bringing in the love. There's enough to go around.
Woo!
Wow. Wow.
Freaking amazing. Beautiful.
You're on mute, Scott.
Thank you. I want to ask everybody in the chat box, answer the question that Nina put forth. What will your legacy be? What will your legacy be? Now is the time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. This is the time we've been preparing for. And God bless everybody. What a 1-2 punch, Marty Casey and Nina Gray.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Kind of overwhelmed, to be honest, right in this moment. So, thank you. And there's more. There's actually more. That's the thing, is unbelievable. We actually have a little bit more still. I do want to take a moment to acknowledge Nina Gray. So you can go to her website, which is her name, ninagray.com. And she's one of our favorite musicians. She's been doing every couple months she does something for us. And she has played with so many remarkable people. She's opened up events for a lot of our favorite people, Michael Beckwith, Marianne Williamson, Jane Goodall. So definitely go to ninagray.com, and there's a lot of wonderful things happening there. Patreon is a wonderful way for us to support our musical artists. And honestly, I support Nina, Fantuzzi, and many other musicians you've seen on our show by going to patreon.com, and then you find your favorite artist and you donate every month. And then the artist provides special songs, special stuff. And I really always enjoy what Nina provides. She always provides really cool stuff and a lot. Dr. Marty was talking about how hard the pandemic has been on so many, and it's been really rough on musicians because so many of them that made their livings playing at festivals, concerts, clubs, none of that's been happening. And so let's really support our musical artists. It's really, really important. And again, a wonderful way to do that is to go to patreon.com and then find Nina Gray or find your favorite artist. In fact, that's how we support the Sign Network, is through Patreon. So maybe when Sean and Summer come on, and they're coming on in just a moment, maybe they can talk a little bit about their use of Patreon. Okay, I gotta pull it together here. Here we go for Global Peace Tribe Recommends, and a wonderful video that you created for us.
Well, at Global Peace Tribe, we've been producing some special events utilizing the amazing presenters that we have. And this Tuesday is going to be incredible. We are going to do a workshop on making contact and UFO government disclosure. This is with Mark Sims and Daniel Sheehan. Now, Danny's right in the middle of the government disclosure in Washington, D.C. now. He is working with Lou Elizondo, who was recently seen on 60 Minutes, who initiated this pursuit to have the government disclose all the UFO information that they have. And this is starting to happen now. Our UFO shows are some of the biggest ones that we do because this is another pulse that's opening up to reveal the information that our government has, that everyone has, and start to actually evolve towards relationships with our galactic family. So this is happening now along with everything else. And Danny and Mark are going to be on this workshop, and it's going to be an intimate question and answer, and Danny revealing what's going on. So you'll be able to have your questions answered and really understand what's happening with government disclosure now. So I'm going to put the link in the chat box where you can join us, and also on our email that comes out on Monday, you will have the link there. So please join us if that's one of your prime interests, because this is going to be really incredible. And also, we're going to share more about World Unity Week. And so we're going to bring on John and Summer, who are also the co-founders and producers of this, to go into more depth of what you can expect by joining World Unity Week. Thank you, John and Summer, and power to you for this incredible week coming up.
Well, first off, I'm so sorry that there is a chainsaw happening at the moment you invite us on.
It's so funny. We've been sitting here. We're building this one world. Can you hear it? It's still being on it.
It's been quiet for a while,
It's
and
crazy.
and
Anyway,
it's
let's use our
interesting.
time well.
Yeah.
What an honor to be here.
And I go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
You should bring up the page. Let's show people, because we want to go beyond the celebration of unity.
And look at that gorgeous couple that's right there on the page.
No, bring up worldunityweek.org. But what we've been doing here is actually a demonstration of unity.
One world, one world.
Mack.
Click on one world, Scott.
For one word.
It's
Yeah.
there, it's there. It's right there in the menu.
Go. That's going to take you to one world. Let it unfold here. So, when Matt's call for selfless service, and I watched Gary's getting animated, and the sense that we're all moving in a new place, going beyond what's been our familiar patterns. We don't want to just talk about unity. We actually want to demonstrate unity. And it's true. When people say, wow, it's overwhelmed, because there's so many people coming together that are committed to bringing their best game forward at this time, to connect with each other, to find each other, and make stuff happen. And it's emerging, because right now you see all that's alive so far is the Giving Tree.
Go ahead and get closer.
So why don't you navigate, if you click on the Giving Tree, if you scroll down this page, right? Okay, each of these spaces in one world have these rooms. And there's not only convergence rooms, there's going to be these sparkle rooms, because on Monday we open the Sparkleverse. And it's a perfect example, like the Burning Man experience. If you've ever been there, there's so much happening. That's that feeling. You can't see everything. You don't need to. Exactly like Gary said, have faith. But each one of those named rooms, if you click on it, opens you up into a board with a schedule of everything that's happening there. So click on any one, just pick one, whoever's navigating. Not the Zoom link, the name of the room. Okay, go back. If you can, just, see the names and the color.
Like Gifts of the Magi there, Scott. Anyone, yeah.
Okay. That one opens up a schedule of all of the events happening, like Dr. Marty was talking about. That's happening in a room, in the whole self justice and healing room. It's so funny to them. And each one of those little boxes, those are event cards that tell you about what's happening in that room at that time. Wow. And there's 30 plus rooms full of, like Ben said before, 700 volunteers. So the point is, though, let's set the optimal conditions. Set the optimal conditions for a personal and planetary awakening to our oneness, to our wholeness, to our holiness. Let's do something. Let's actually bring our resources together, like we've done with you guys here, like we're done with Adil, like we're actually leaning into what does that mean to make the agreements we need to actually bring about the change. We're building a magic canoe to move between the world that we've been in to the world that we all know is possible. And I'm so blessed to have the chance to serve this way. Oh my gosh, this is a dream come true.
And I just want to say before the chainsaw comes back in, that this is like truly a place for you. So the 242 people that are in here, I always want to talk directly to you that there is so much opportunity to actually be a participant, not just listening, not just, being kind of like Dr. Marty, what she is doing. There's an opportunity to be in there and collectively ungun. And, there is so many different projects that are actually about the world. I'm hosting a project that's called For the Love of India, working on bridging the US and India and supporting on the grounds work for the people that really need help in India. I mean, there's just and then you can dance in the Sparkleverse together and be a part of designing this incredible magical world. I mean, it's so dynamic. And I also want to say it's not overwhelming. It is so beautiful because it is the world we are creating. we are doing it, and you get to co-create it with us. And this is the greatest like action, you know, let's do something, but I want to say let's do something that truly matters, that truly is the change we need to make in the world, and not let chainsaws in your neighborhood stop you from the call. So I just thank you so much, and truly dive in and trust where you are, like a labyrinth. It's fun and it's meaningful.
I know Ben has something to say, but I'm just imagining that chainsaw is building this great big magic canoe.
You got it. Exactly.
Oh,
Between
yeah,
worlds.
that's nice. I like that. Yeah.
You know, lots of room. Everybody welcome.
Just big canoe.
Our journey home.
Yeah.
The only thing is you gotta learn to be willing to paddle together, and we'll learn if you don't know. That's the thing.
This is it right
This is
there.
a
That's right.
learning
See them
journey.
paddling?
We're learning
This is
together,
it.
man. We're doing it.
Yeah.
We're gonna get the pulse. We'll learn to find that beat. We'll learn how to heal, not bypass the real pain and suffering. Take it on. We can lean into it. We can learn to empty. We have our indigenous brothers and sisters teaching us the wisdom that's ancient, that's timeless. This is our story. This is the story of now, and this is the story of us. So come and play. My neighbors.
I love Zoom. You gotta love it.
Hey,
Nothing can stop you guys, not even the noise.
I need to ungun him. Summer, go give that man my number.
All right, you better mute us, but go to the world, unityweek.org, to the one world and roam around. Find
Okay,
your place.
So much love. So much love. Thank you. All right.
Ben.
Wow, what a ride, what a journey. I couldn't let this moment go without saying a few words about John and Summer. We just wouldn't be where we are without the love and devotion and commitment and selfless and the commitment to growing and leading. I've had the privilege of knowing these two for so many years since we were in Ethiopia together. And I just want everyone to know day in, day out, I see John's work and his humility and his compassion and his selfless service. And it is overwhelming. It's overwhelming in the most positive and beautiful way. And I just want to declare and testify that John is a real deal. And we talk about Teya Deshardin or Barbara Mark Sabra, these great way showers for synergy and unity. Well, one day they'll be talking about John Raymer, brother John Raymer. And it's an honor to serve with you and side by side with you, brother, and my beloved sister. Just so wonderful to see your love and lighting the way, lighting the way, lighting the way, lighting the way forward. We're all in the canoe with you. Let's go to one world. Let's build it. Let's make it together. And just thank you for your leadership and for everything that you teach us and give us.
Absolutely. 24/7, this guy right here. 24/7.
I love it. I love it. That's the best gift. It makes me so happy to be a part of this journey together. God, what better use of my life and time? Thank you so, everybody. We love you. We're in it. Let's do it. This is our time.
Let's have fun.
Yeah, and have fun. Brave, kind, fun results. Real change. Behavior change. All right. None.
You know, I want to acknowledge, of course, I've talked about how many people are in the Zoom room, but I want to acknowledge all of you watching on Facebook, on Unify, on through the Sign Network. You know, you're all a big part of what's happening here as well. And I notice, you know, a lot of our friends in the chat room. Teresa Collins was just chatting up her love for John and Summer. And of course, Teresa, once every 3 months, does a wonderful show with us through Global Pulse. August 21st will be the next Teresa Collins Global Coherence Pulse show. So we're looking forward to that. And we're planning way out. So thank you, everybody. You're all getting a chance to meet this incredible team, this incredible group of people who are all coming together. And there's still room in the canoe. You can see they're cutting down something big to make that canoe so that there's room for everybody. So definitely come join us in the canoe. And, you know, they were talking about fun, and it is fun. You know, when we do things with love, it's always good. I'm a big fan of the Beatles, but I wish instead of it saying all you need is love, I wish the refrain had been, let's do everything with love. Do everything with love. And that's what you've seen tonight. Gary Malkin, Dr. Marty, they're doing it all with love. John, Summer, Ben. And someone else who we love, who does everything with love, is Jeff McBride. Jeff McBride is an amazing magician. And honestly, the only reason we were able to get him to come on to Saturday Night Live was because his showroom was shut down in Las Vegas. And so he agreed to come on. He did a couple of shows for us, and then he went back into performing, but he started sending his best students who have become some of the magicians you've seen on our show all the time. Well, about, maybe a month ago, Jeff invited me to a private online party that he was doing. And it's this beautiful show that he does live online called Magic Quest. And it was great. It just knocked my socks off. And my buddy with me, and we just loved it. And immediately I said, Jeff, is there any way we can do this for the Global Peace Tribe? He is such a sweetheart. He agreed to do a special showing just for us, just for the Global Peace Tribe. Now listen, this is a Zoom meeting. It's not a webinar. It's a meeting. So you're all on camera, and Jeff is going to pull some of you and do tricks online with you. It's really, really fun. And he's providing, there was a VIP ticket when he did this for other people. That was $100. He's giving every member of the Global Peace Tribe a VIP ticket. If you get it before July 5, it's only $22. And then after that, it's going to go up to $33, normally $100. It's a private, just for us, Magic Quest party with Jeff McBride. So really, no hype. He knocked my socks off. It's a great, great show. And it's a lot of fun. And it's very interactive and very personal. So please do join us. And it's on July 28th, which was actually my wife's birthday. My wife passed away. Her birthday was July 28th, so it's going to be a special day. I mentioned it before, but I want to bring it up one more time, and that is tomorrow morning. Please join me on the Secret Sunday show. We're going to have Antoinette, and there may be a Pato sighting. I can't promise it, but usually when Antoinette's around, so is Pato. But most of all, she's really going to be explaining what Juneteenth was all about, how to celebrate it, and most of all, what can we do now? So much of what we've heard Dr. Marty and our other speakers saying, yes, it's great, it's a federal holiday, it's a nice little step, but there's so much more that we need to do. And we're going to talk about that. And my Sacred Sunday shows are always very interactive. So please come on into the Zoom room. You can watch it on Facebook. It's on all of our Facebook pages. Sean and Summer usually curate all the sign network, the sine wave. But it's really nice if you come into the Zoom room and interact with us. And we will interact directly with you tomorrow. So that's tomorrow at 10 o'clock Pacific time, 1 o'clock Eastern. And, John and Summer, you didn't really talk about the sine wave. I don't know if is it safe to unmute for a minute and tell us a little bit about the sine network?
Thank you, because the truth is, it's really another example of what we can do together. We call this trusted sharing. And all we do is we ask everyone, hey, make us an admin on your Facebook page. Now, you wouldn't do that with a stranger. So we took the time to get to know everyone and found these social innovators that want behavior change in the world and are committed to working together. 250 Facebook pages we're admins on. So when a member goes live, like you, Scott, and Deborah here, we turn that stream into a wave by other members agreeing to share it. This is an example of using the power we have to work in support of each other. So that way, when the wave happens, instead of going out just a few pages, it goes out to 50, 60, 70, 100 pages. This isn't really the point of it is to show that is a compassion game. Let's make waves in support of each other. There's so much more we can do with this ability to have trust at the heart of establishing these kind of agreements to support each other. So it's an honor to do it, but it's really not me and Summer. We're facilitating, but it's everybody on this call. It's Unity Earth who puts up their pages. It's Marty who puts up her pages. It's everyone saying, okay, we'll share with each other and support each other. And in that way, we're building that capacity, that collective capacity to make the changes that are urgently needed right now.
So the Patreon page too is a part of how people become members, how organizations become members of the Sign Network. And we always suggest too, often it's like that is such a creator place, as we've been hearing of many musicians, and it's such an incredible opportunity, I think, for so many of us to think of how our fans, how our community can continue to serve and support and be of receiving the value that you are bringing. So it's often also a conversation with members like, hey, being creators on Patreon. And it's an incredible platform. And we in the Sign Network, we're very inclusive. We have many different tier levels to come into the Sign Network. And I just always like to say, let's start with a discovery conversation. That's part of what I care for. And the Sign Network is having a discovery meeting and seeing how synergy and collaboration can be, so we can discover together. And that starts at sign.network, our website, and applying to join the network. So.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for all that you guys do. I love you two so much. I like what Jennifer, one of our people wrote in the chat box, hearing the birds now. She said, now the birds. That's the tantra of life, playing with both of you two, and it's true.
Yeah.
The chaos followed by the birds, right? So
had some healing conversations with neighbors just in the last couple of minutes. So, it's unfolding everywhere. There's a lot of work to do, even in our neighborhood. So
absolutely.
Right in our neighborhood.
Taking in the way things are sometimes in neighborhoods. So
thank you too. Thank you for all that you do. And everybody check out, there's so much to do with World Unity Week all this week. So definitely go there, play, discover all the amazing things. It is the Smithsonian Institute of Online Programming. All right. We do still have a little bit left. We've got a wonderful communication from Antoinette and a wonderful song that she recorded last night. She and Pato did this big event in Encinitas. I'm sorry, in
Lake Elsinore.
Lake Elsinore, thank you. You saved me there. In Lake Elsinore. And they recorded this amazing video that we're going to watch. And speaking of amazing videos, here's something from our dear friend Jay Mayer.
Blessings. Thank you for blessing everyone watching this with your best blessings for everyone. Times 10, times 10, times 10, times 10. Thank you for divine love, for miracles and good fortune. Thank you for blessing everyone watching this with your best blessings for everyone.
Really fun. Thank you, Jay. Jay has such a beautiful heart, and he's so about appreciation and gratitude. And I really honor the religion that is the attitude of gratitude. It's very, very beautiful. All right. I want to thank one more time. So many of our presenters and musicians and friends are still with us, and you're welcome to stay. But we're going to kind of wrap up with this 12-minute video from Antoinette that goes into Juneteenth, goes into what she's doing, some of which you've heard before, but it's really important. And then we'll have the music video she just sent me this morning. So that's what's happening. If any of you need to log off, I'm going to go to gallery view one more time, just to acknowledge everybody. And Deborah, is there any final words that you'd like to share?
Again, amazing show. It blows me and Scott away every time. So much love, so much consciousness. We're all doing it. And love you all from World Unity Week, and love supporting Juneteenth. So Again, amazing. Love you all.
Thank you, Deborah. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you so much.
Mm.
And again, thank you, Dr. Marty. Ben, our co-host, I'm going to bring Ben on one more time also. Ben, did you get any sleep? Like,
yeah, I got a little bit, Scott. It's this is, like John said, it's invigorating just being in the field with you and with everybody. It's wonderful. And so we'll sleep next week.
okay, great. Well, thank you for everything you put together. Thanks for being our co-host on the show. Let's do it again sometime, all right?
That was a lot of fun. Thanks for having me. And thank you for embracing World Unity Week as much as you have, Scott and Deborah and everyone. What an amazing show put together. It was just absolutely brilliant. Thank you to the sponsors and everybody who works behind the scenes to put this on. We're just really joyed to be here with you guys, and looking forward to next Saturday as well, Deborah and Scott, for June 26th, which will be the close for World Unity Week. Thanks, everybody.
And I've gone back to gallery view. Look at all these beautiful faces. Look at all these gorgeous, amazing people from all the way from India to the East Coast to Melbourne, Australia, all the way up to where John and Summer are, the Pacific Northwest, Tom Palladino down in Florida, Dr. Marty, I'm trying to remember where you are, Dr. Marty, in the Midwest, aren't you?
St. Louis, Missouri.
You know what I was going to say, St. Louis. So isn't it beautiful that we've got people from all over the world, all over the country? So thank you. Each and every one of you is so, like my heart, I could cry just looking at all of you. You're also, each and every one of you is such a beautiful emanation of the one divinity. All right. So we're going to go to another beautiful emanation named Antoinette. Antoinette, thank you so much for spending some time with us. And please tell us about what you're doing with Stand Up for Justice.
Thank you so much, Scott. So Stand Up for Justice, we've been doing quite a few different things. We started learning to lobbying class on Mondays, but now we're doing it once a month because we've started to start up our initiative for the Jane campaign. And so between that, the Jane campaign, and our brother Chris Odom with the Black Community of Portland, he still has his organization that does the weekly food box distribution with underprivileged families within the community. We also have the Bridging the Divide with Summer Joy, with the Compassion Games. So we do a monthly series with between Black and whites and all ethnicities actually on bridging the gap, bridging the divide, having open and honest conversations about racial relations here. And that's a monthly series that is actually being on live on Zoom, which everybody can see as you guys are part of the network, you know, on the Sign Network. So everybody can actually participate. They can chime in, they can ask questions, they can hear thoughtful answers and responses. And also the Juneteenth celebration that we're actually hosting with the city, partnering with the city of Lake Elsinore, the Chamber of Commerce, and the Storm Stadium, to bring together unity in the community, a big celebration, like a very large event instead of like several small events that are happening. So one huge major event to actually bring the community together. Fantastic. And then with the Jane campaign, this is the latest thing since we started last year, having our discussions with the police. Our friend, she's a single mother of an autistic child. And she was at one of the protests with us that we had there in the city. And we had two of them, very peaceful protests, as you'll see in the video, Stand Up for Justice. And you'll see the police are there, the mayor is there, the children are there, families are there. All the kids got a chance to be able to speak and say what was on their mind. And we started to develop a relationship with the local police regarding how they respond with special needs communities. As we started to have our conversations, I sent them some information that Portland was doing called the Cahoots program, and another program on the East Coast called the Blue Envelope program. And what they do is they have an additional registry, and also if you pulled over, you can just kind of hand them the blue envelope, which kind of gives them all the information that they need to know and how to proceed. And with the additional registry is that it flags the addresses. So if you get a call, that they know that you have to go to this call with special care. I've noticed that in Denver, the STARS program actually mirrored it off of the Cahoots program. They went to Portland, they learned what they were doing. They've implemented this program like 2 months after the incident with Elijah McClain. And since then, they've taken over 800 calls with no arrests and no fatalities and no injuries. So that was a spectacular thing. And they did it so quickly. So I figured if they can do that, then why can't we do that here? And why can't we do this across the nation? So starting with our own local police department, you know, they really love the idea. They said this is something that we can actually partake in and participate in, working together with the community. So they decided to take it even one step further and try to make it throughout the whole of Riverside County. And if we can get it all throughout Riverside County, that's what they're working on, is also to see if we can make this as a state bill, you know, for the state of California. So this Jane campaign, even though she's not the poster child of son that has actually happened, I always like to think of preventative instead of like saying, wait until something happens to your child and then get involved and do something. Let's be proactive and do something now. So this is for all the moms and the dads and the families who have special needs family members, and they want to protect their family. And just like the police want to protect themselves as well too, that we approach it with a better situation. So this is something I think that we can just continue working on doing. Thank you.
Beautiful. Well, we're looking forward to supporting it. I'm going to go back through one more time. So again, it's the money that we're raising for you tonight is going to Stand Up for Justice, and specifically the Jane campaign. And of course, want to encourage everybody to go to standupforjustice.us and then /Jane campaign. And you know, what a very powerful and an important topic. And I really appreciate you, as always, Antoinette. You always have your finger on the pulse of how we can come up with specific solutions to solve some of the big social problems we're facing. So thank you.
Thank you. And, you know, also to mention, it was actually at a Costco, there was an incident of a shooting last year of a special needs adult in Costco with an off-duty officer. And somehow an argument had broke out at the, you know, where you get the taste food.
Right,
you know,
the samples.
The samples, right. So anyway, he punched the officer, and the officer pulled his gun and shot him. And when the parents turned around, they shot the parents too.
Oh my God.
So, so they killed him and they killed the parents. They didn't even know what happened. They just turned around and they were in the hospital for months. So this was like a very big concern. And so when I asked the police about this, they said, well, there's certain training. So every police department is different. Some have training when it comes to recognizing, you know, special needs, and some precincts don't. And so from what I was told, and I was like, so this is one of our questions. You know, we have so many questions. It's like, we want to know, what is your training? How do you identify? How do you proceed? How can we do this non-lethal in different things? Because Jane's son, we take him out all the time. And he's like a bull in a china shop, you know, if you want some French fries at Golden Corral or whatever, you know. And he's nonverbal, but he's such a lovable kid, but he doesn't even know his own strength, and he doesn't respond, you know, to verbal commands or different things. So it's and I feared for that. I was like, that could be her son, that could be anybody, you know, at any age. So.
And of course, we're celebrating and raising money for you this weekend because it is the weekend of Juneteenth.
Yes.
And would just love for you to share for a minute or two about Juneteenth, a little bit about the history and how it's growing. The movement to make it a federal holiday is growing.
Yes, this is very important, you know, because I actually didn't know about Juneteenth until more recently. You know, these are things that wasn't taught to us in our schools and in our history books. And that's something that I also want to focus on, is as far as what is the state standards, because there was an incident in one of the other states where people wanted to opt out of Black History Month. They felt like it wasn't necessary for them to learn, but there was so much clapback and from the community and from the online community to say, this is something, Black history is actually American history. This is all part of all American history. So it wouldn't be fair for their students or anybody for them to not have to learn about it. And then it made me think about what was the state standards. The state standards was, we were once slaves, and then Martin Luther had a dream. What about everything else? And we don't know anything about anything else. So after 14 years, I went to 14 different schools growing up. And out of those 14 different schools, I wasn't getting the kind of education and training that only some schools, which I've noticed, like they're teaching all these things like Howard Zinn education and different stuff. But for the most part, it's not even just the students, but I think a lot of teachers themselves need to go back to school in order for them to be able to teach it to their students. So Juneteenth, one of my favorite things was reading what does a Declaration of Independence mean to me? What does your 4th of July mean? And that was Frederick Douglass. And when you read this thing, it's very powerful. He basically told them off because it's like, why are you have me coming to speak about freedom and we don't even have freedom for ourselves? It's almost like an insult, you know, but the way he said it was very eloquent, very poetic, you know, he was a great orator, you know, and that made me think about it. I was like, wow, you know, he was very ahead of his time. He was really trying to bring people up to speed about why freedom and equality for all people, like in the Declaration, is supposed to be there for everyone. So we didn't actually realize that, because even though Abraham Lincoln had signed the Declaration of Independence on January 1st, 1863, that's when it was supposed to happen. It didn't take another 2 years until they finally got down into Texas, where there was 250,000 slaves still in slavery.
Wow.
You know, so they didn't get the memo, the message, and they weren't really pushing things along. So that's really our Freedom Day. They kind of call it Freedom Day. They call it the Jubilee Day. They call it, you know, and it was such a huge significance to sit there and say, now we finally, at least here's a start. Not to say that we all have equality right now, but at least here's a start legally that we all have equality and that all men are created equally and free.
Beautiful.
You know?
Well, we thank you for all that you do. I wish I could snap my fingers and be at your June 18th event. I'm sure it'll be very successful.
I'm going to film as much as I can, maybe do a live stream or something, but it's going to be fantastic. And, you know, supporters who have been helping us support, because this came out of the love of Dr. Quinlan Strong. You know, she's a member of the NAACP and also a member of our Stand Up for Justice. And she was there. Me and her were the ones who were leading the protests here in the city. It was her idea. She was the one who went and approached the city and said, I want to do a Juneteenth celebration here in our city of Lake Elsinore. And I want to do something at the stadium. So it was her drive and her willpower to convince them, because it's like, how do you get the city and the Chamber of Commerce and the stadium to sit there and agree on doing an event when we're only like 0.6% of the population, you know, as far as Black residents. But this Juneteenth celebration isn't only for Black residents, it's also for everybody, because it is a community. Everybody should be celebrating the freedom and equality for everyone, supporting all the small businesses. And it is a unity in the community, because even though we're supporting Black business, we're also supporting local talent that is also mixed, you know, and is showing that the unity can come together with the people within this, in the city of Lake Elsinore. You know, so it shows the diversity. It shows the diversity of people coming together and supporting each other. And we really do need healing now. You know, it's been such a divided time during the past year, whether it's political, whether it's medical, whether it's a lot of different things, or spiritual or religious, and all this tension and anger. And now we're coming out of COVID. It's like, now we can be outside. We can be socially distanced. We can be entertained. We could participate in some wonderful food, activities for the children, and just, you know, just coming together and fellowship, you know. So it's going to be a big event. So I'm really excited. And everybody is volunteering their time, but we do have to sit there and pay at least, you know, support and staff and other things like that, you know, but everybody else is donating. So whatever contributions that people want to send our way for us to have a successful event, I'm hoping that next year we can do a 3-day event. Great. Like some of the other big cities. Yeah.
We're going to do our best to raise what we can for you. And I look forward to hearing how the 18th goes for you, and we'll be in communication soon. And thank you so much for all that you do and for your time.
Thank you so much. Have a blessed night.
Look at all these amazing, wonderful people that are still here. Incredible. Incredible. Look at this beautiful gallery. Well, she kind of set up, you know, talking about what is going to be what happened last night. And she sent me a video. But before I play the video, because this will be the very last little piece of tonight, please do donate. We still Would love to. I'd really love for us to get to $1,000, and we're close. So a few more donations would be really wonderful. And we've been putting into the chat box where to donate. And again, thank you, Dr. Marty, Ben, John, Summer, Gary, Debbie, still with us, Jan. So this is really fun. And it's a great song. It's called No Stopping Us Now. What a perfect way to end this show. And this is filmed last night in Lake Elsinore at the big event that she just described. And it's a really, really fun video.
This is an awesome song, Scott. I'm so happy you're playing this.
Isn't it gorgeous? Oh my God. I know when I got it from her this morning, it was like, wow. Yeah, so.
Is on the run. Politicians say it's okay. Disease rages. Children hungry in the street. Babies in cages. This breaking point means there's no turning back. We're moving forward and staying on track. Waiting for the right time. Now it's here. Speak us loud for all to hear. Open my mouth to speak my peace. You say I'm talking too loud and try to hurt me. It's much too strong, the vibe is too strong to shut it all down. We're getting justice, justice. We're getting peace, peace. Our forces growing, no time to sleep. Our humanity is what we're gonna keep.
It's on TV, refuse to see it. Now, too much of pain, fight every day. Human rights is the only way. We've been holding back for far too long. If we wait for you, we'd all be gone, we'd still be wrong. Now, we're ready to do what is right. Hold the line, eyes on the prize, let's unite. Stop it. Stop it. Our brother's blood still in the streets. It's on TV, we refuse to see. Now, too much pain, fights every day. Human rights is the only way. We've been holding back for far too long. If we wait for you, we'd all be gone, we'd stay wrong.
Was that fun or what? Huh? I'm going to let my hair down on that.
Fabulous.
Oh my God.
Woo, 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 woo.
That's a classic.
I don't want to stop.
Now, come on. Hey,
You can't stop us.
now.
Latency be damned.
Can't stop us now.
Oh, I love that.
Moving on.
We're moving on.
We're moving on.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Woo!
Magic too.
Magic.
We're still here.
Right. Wow.
Acknowledge the 170 Zoom room, wonderful friends, all the people that are still donating. Thank you. Everybody watching on Facebook. God bless you. All right, now go to the World Unity Week schedule, take a look at all that's going on, pick out all the wonderful things you're going to do, get a good night's rest, and come back tomorrow morning for World Unity Week and Sacred Sunday with Antoinette and myself.
Thank you. Love you guys. Thank you,
my
John, Summer, and Marty, and Ben, and Chan, and Debbie, Scott, and Deborah. Love you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you, Marty.
Thank you.
Terry.
Love you.